Welcome, Wapham crew. Secure your tinfoil hats, buckle down tight, and hold on loosely as we soar over the rocky tops of the La Platas on a rocky mountain high, get sucked into the vortex of the Four Corners, and settle down snugly at mile marker 420 in colorful Colorado. It is Saturday, September 24th, Sunday, September 25th, for those of you across the pond and beyond. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you, and welcome to We Are Paradox Media's Late Night in the Rockies. I'm your host, Tessa T&T, and we are broadcasting live tonight from the Mile High Clubhouse. Woot woot! I hope you guys had an awesome weekend so far. Mine's been pretty busy and hectic. Holy shnikes. So Floyd was sick last week, so we redid his birthday for this week, and it was like the biggest turnout I think we've had in a long time. Took the kids to the pool. I'm so glad I didn't do my makeup before I went because, like the Wicked Witch of the West, I was melting, melting. We had pizza, cake. I had to leave before that, but I actually bought 4 pizzas, took one with me home. But it went pretty good. It was really good turnout. The kids had a really good time. So if you're listening live tonight, you may be listening to us on Spreaker.com. You may also be listening to us on KPNL Radio, which you can find on KPNL at kpnl-db.com. That's KPNL Radio at kpnl-db.com. And then recently, we got picked up by eTalk Radio. So that's at etalk.tv/radio, and we should be broadcasting live from there right now, I do believe. If not, it'll happen next weekend. But yet another place to find us. If you want to listen to us on your free time, whether you're working it, or working out, check us out once more under We Are Paradox Media at Spreaker, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Castbox, Tumblr, SoundCloud, TuneIn Radio, Deezer, Podcast Addict, and Podcast Chaser. I do believe we're also on Podvine, and we're working on Amazon. There's some confusion going on because it's like, we're sorry, we can only upload um so many shows, and it's like, well, just upload the last ones. And I contacted somebody and they were all confused, like, well, what exactly do you want? Well, I want you to upload my show. So we should be on Amazon podcast pretty soon. Please make sure you mosey on over to our YouTube as we are recently off ground. We're free! And you can find that under We Are Paradox Media. Please make sure you subscribe. Like any video you've listened to, please leave us a comment because that will change the algorithm. And, yay, nay, certain guests you want on or whatnot. And make sure you give that bell a little tickle so next time we do go on, you will find that show up in your log for your subscriptions. So tonight I have a treat for all my guys and gals out there. Tonight we have the Paradox Paranormal Forum, and this evening we have Miss Mia Savage as well as Mr. Travis Williard Mustus. Welcome, you guys, and thanks so much for coming and hanging out with me tonight.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for having me. It's wonderful to be here.
Mia still there? Mia!
I
she
am
was.
so sorry.
Oh.
Technical difficulties.
That's okay.
This was not technical, but yes, there was difficulties. It's nice to be here.
Yay! So, we'll start with Travis. Travis, what have you been up to recently?
A lot of bit of everything. Been busy with my community. Like I said, I've been doing a lot of work there with language courses and running of community events. Everything from like elders gatherings to treaty 8 gatherings, and then recently we just had a powwow, which was pretty cool, and a traditional powwow, by the way. We built everything, the arbor and everything, no nails. We roped it all together, and yeah, it was really good. It was like I said, a great turnout, and they plan to do another 3 years of that. So, that's always a good thing.
I loved those videos that you were posting with the music, and it was showing you guys putting together those arbors and such. It was beautiful. I loved it. Especially with the music. I'm like, hell yeah. We did security for the powwows and the Ute tribe rodeo this year. The tribe picked us up for security, so we're excited about that. I was disappointed because I got to work the first day watching the animals and stuff. And then the other nights, because I'm the overnight person, that's just my natural hours. I was doing security over at the Ute Tribe Museum while everybody else got to be there for the powwows. And I love powwows. Like when I was a kid, we used to go to them all the time. And it's been at least 20, maybe 30 something years. No, I'm going to say 20 something years since I've actually been able to see a powwow. But yeah, I got to go and drop some stuff off and see everybody in their outfits and stuff, and it's just so beautiful, and it just like makes me want to cry every time I see them. I'm just like I can just feel the spirit, It's amazing.
Oh yeah, I can totally agree with that. I've been going through like tons of video and like over 1,000 photos, and you know what I mean, trying to put it all together for the console and the chief, right? For them to watch and check it out,
Mhm.
right? And other than that, like going through some of the photos, I noticed some peculiar I should say some visitors actually visiting the powwow ground. I actually have a photo of a flyover of a UFO craft.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah.
while the powwow is happening. Did anybody else notice it?
No, this is what's funny is like there was this massive just aurora borealis, the spirits, the northern lights. They come flying over the powwow, right, just to come and give like acknowledgement, right, of our ceremonies and everything that time. And yeah, it was just a spectacular moment. So people were taking photos, and I decided to try to just to get some pictures of the those northern lights and whatever, right? And
Mhm.
all of a sudden I noticed something, and I'm like, hey, there,
I'd
look
love
at.
to see this
You want to see it? I could switch it to
at some point. If you want to put it in the chat, that would be amazing. I was just thinking, are you allowed to have electronics in your powwows?
Oh
Of
yeah, no,
course.
I was allowed to. Yeah, I was allowed to. I was actually that was my job, was to document it. So
Oh, that's cool.
yeah.
That's awesome. I love the
And while
tribes
you're
here
pulling
because
that
they allow. I know in Arizona there's a few tribes that do not allow.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, during like certain ceremonies and stuff like that, like when people are
Oh
say
yeah.
like there's certain spiritual items, or like say trinkets, or I should say like say sacred pipes, or any kind of like fans or something like that are being used in that kind of respect. And yeah, no, I don't take pictures of that. No, I'm allowed to paint it
Yeah.
though,
okay.
or draw it or anything. But yeah, no. Anyway,
That's
so
interesting.
so here's
Oh, okay.
here's a picture
Wow. That was like a
of this.
painting. That's a picture?
Yeah, this is a painting. This is a picture of the Powell ground. So this is like before, and then I'll show you.
Oh, that's so
And
cool.
That is gorgeous.
and then here it is in the sky.
Oh my
I mean,
goodness. I've got
that
pictures of those guys.
that would be the most amazing painting. And then there's the mystery light right there. The little UFO kind of speck thing. That is so cool. Oh my
Well,
gosh.
that little boomerang looking thing is a UFO, right?
Yes, yes, that's what's in the sky there. Yeah,
It could
and
be
then
anything. I
and
mean,
then
but
after
I
it
mean,
left
like
through a portal,
that's what a
and that
UFO is. It could be a spirit. It could be. Oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
that right there is a UFO
You can see
for
the gap
sure.
in the light now.
yeah, you see the gap there, the light, the portal that it went through.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Can you hold that up for 1 second? I have to show my friend who's I want her to be on this, but she's not. So let me put you on mute and let me just like see if she's out here real quick. Hold on 1 second. Can you hold it up? Hold it up.
Oh,
Hold it up.
and
Just
she
one
can
more
come
second.
on. We're actually short a couple people if she wants to come on. It's totally cool. That's amazing. Seriously. All the
Yeah,
evidence you
That is
captured
so
there.
awesome. My friend loves it.
That's amazing, dude.
She says
Good
she's amazing. This
capture.
is my friend Jamie.
Hi.
Hi,
Hi.
Jamie.
You see me. How's it going?
It's going. So glad you came on.
Yes, we're on speaker. It's been crazy. Ross had I told you about that. He had like a blood clot thing and his leg is swollen and everything always happens at once. Why it always happens all at once, I have no idea. And right now, it's like the one time I'm busy, it's like I'm worried now about that. But this is Jamie. She's really cool. She's like a nature spirit. She's a total nature.
I'm a
spirit.
sprite. Can you see me or no?
No, you guys aren't on camera. But
I'm 50. I don't know what's going on.
I'm 50 years old.
I'm
Hey,
50.
we are short a couple people tonight, so if you want to join us, feel free to.
Okay, cool. Well, I actually.
She's a cat, so she can come in and out maybe.
Yeah, I'm just not prepared right this second. But can I jump on the next one for reals, like for the whole time?
Yeah,
I've got
definitely.
my pants out. I got my pants down. I wasn't
We caught
prepared.
you with your pants down. Guess
Yeah.
where we want you.
My pussies are out.
Well, you can do it with you can do it from Skype. We can add you if you have Skype.
I don't. I'd have to like start a whole thing. But anyway, I don't want to interrupt. Let me sit here for a second and listen, and then I'll totally join in next time. I just need a little heads up.
Yeah, and we're definitely on for the next basically 2 hours and 30 something minutes. So
Okay.
plenty of time to put your pants back on. But hey,
Yeah.
you can do this show naked. Nobody knows.
Thanks for being flexible. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no worries. I'm here for you.
I love it.
I love this show so much, and
Who else is
I love
listening?
you,
Is it
Tess.
just us? Oh, Tess, are we gonna
No,
go?
we're on air. We're on Spreaker and Spotify.
Speaker box. Are we gonna go to the ghost house on the 28th?
I'm bringing her to the investigation room.
Yes. The big thing is we need to get there before the 29th. That's when her daughter and her son-in-law and her grandchild and their dog or whatever is coming. So I was thinking the 27th, but if we go the 28th, as long as we get there before her daughter and her grandchild comes, that's the most
27th
important
is
thing.
perfect because I think Ross wants to leave like the 29th-ish.
Yeah, he just said they're checking out the 29th.
The 29th. Oh, they're checking out the 29th, so he'll want to leave the 30th. Yeah. So
yeah, 27th would be awesome, or 28th if we have to squeeze it in, but 27 would be bomb.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping for.
Amanda says hi. This is very random. Amanda.
Hello, Amanda.
She works at the smoke shop we go to, the vape shop, and you guys know each other apparently.
Oh,
she
yeah.
said, tell us I said hi.
That's my niece-in-law.
Oh, okay, cool.
We're all related here on We Are Paradox Media.
Here in Baytucky.
Yeah, Baytucky, aka Bayberry, is what I like to call it.
Bayberry, totally.
But it's crazy, like you said, like when one thing happens, a lot of things happen, and one of the big things that happened was Dave, him and Jim, which is Amanda's ex, went to the grocery store and they were coming out and he got COVID and he's been a lifelong smoker, etc. And a musician his whole life. You know, all those things kind of go hand in hand, especially when you have some sort of, stage fright or whatever. So, yeah, they were coming out of the store and he's like, I don't feel right. And I guess they got to the
with just recently at the rodeo.
And he's like, I don't feel right, Jim. I don't feel right. And they got to the car and he's like, Jim, help me. And he fell like completely like flat backwards, busted his head. His heart stopped. Jim screaming for help. Luckily, there was an off-duty officer there and he came and did compressions until the ambulance got there. And I guess they were having issues getting his heart started or keeping it going.
I just saw him when I worked the rodeo. That's insane.
Wait, so this just happened?
This just happened.
Yeah.
Like, one of the guys, but I didn't work like with him exclusively, and I'm really, really, really bad with names.
Yeah, he was sitting a lot because he's got health issues.
He was the one sitting. We were talking for like, I don't know, about 20 minutes before I went to the bleachers, and that's my mom. She was talking with him quite a bit too because I brought her with me.
Mm-hmm.
Not to work, obviously, just to she's bored and entertain her, if you will.
Right? I know. She's like, are you going to be there? I'm like, sorry, I got to do my show.
Which one's the one with the Harley?
Oh, shit. I don't know. If somebody showed up with a Harley, that could be Kenny.
Harley and a wife.
Oh, was it a Native American guy?
No. Maybe he used to have one. there was one guy, there was a sitting guy, and then there was a really tall big guy that I can't remember his name
Bert.
because yeah, I think I only met him that night, I think maybe. And then there was the smaller, older guy that was sitting. And then I'm really bad with names, but I'm really like I could tell you their life stories. That's just how my weird autistic brain works, and I feel really embarrassed about it, honestly. But it's just kind of like when I meet
I'm
like
better
it'll
with
be
faces than names.
Yeah, me too.
yeah, and when I meet like I'm okay with names if I meet one person at a time. But if I meet multiple people at the same time, I can't remember any other names. Like it's the weirdest thing. And I'm just trying to figure out which one Dave was. Okay.
Dave
Because I
was the
know
one that
that,
was sitting.
yeah, that had to have been Dave then. But
Did he
Yeah.
survive?
okay. So your husband,
So
does he have a sister
yeah,
that could
Sandy.
have been there?
Yeah, she came down from Montana to visit.
So that's not his wife, then that's your husband's sister.
Yeah. They found
Oh,
him
okay.
through genetics, doing DNA work.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. That was a pretty cool story.
I'd give my
They didn't
G's
find
over if
each other. Yeah, they didn't
I
find
the
each other
world.
till like 3 years ago or whatever. It was pretty amazing. I'm so glad that
That
she
happened
got to
very
come
well.
down, and then Aunt Betty and Colleen and those guys came down, and Jim, which is their cousin,
I
came
know Jim.
down,
I
and
met him. Yeah, I know now who you're
not
talking about.
Amanda's Jim, but the other Jim.
Or not
He
Jim.
was in prison like most of his life, and he finally got released this last year. And
Good
that's
for him.
Colleen's brother and Betty's son. He's a really, really awesome guy too. They were all staying out at the ranch, but it was the day that they left is when they went to the grocery store and stuff, and that's when it happened. And he is still alive. They just at first they lowered his body temperature because they were worrying about the brain swelling. So they lowered his body temperature and put him in a medically induced coma, intubated him, which means they put the tube down his throat. Then yesterday they started warming him up. They tried to wake him up. He could barely open his eyes, but Vern said you could see sometimes his eye, like the pupil and stuff. Um, but sometimes not. And then he got it to the point where he was able to like look to whatever side Vern was at or whatnot. And then I guess today it wasn't very good. So if you guys could put out positive energy for Dave,
I will.
that'd be awesome.
Interacting with him, I know exactly. I talked to him for about 20 minutes before my shift started when I worked the rodeo, and then I was learning because I had met him before. I was learning now that I guess I didn't understand that he was Vern's brother, maybe.
Yeah.
And then the other one, the woman, I assumed that she was his wife, but that's apparently his sister. That it's just weird because I feel like when people, I don't know if you've ever heard this. Robert,
Hello, Robert.
how are you?
Yeah, I'm alright. How about yourselves?
Excellent.
Wonderful.
We're done.
My ADD just got so excited. Sorry, but he was kind of shy. Okay, so I've had this happen with animals before and with people, like kind of before they, and I hate to say it, but before they pass. And I do not want to say he's going to pass because I don't feel that. I feel though he had an excess energy when I that I hadn't seen in him before. I won't say he was shiny, which is a good thing because if he was shiny, then he might have passed. But I will say he had an excess of energy to where I talked to him more than I have before, and it was just strange. And I feel like that's happened with animals of mine. Like before they pass, they just get really shiny and their behavior just gets really like angelic and stuff. He didn't give me angelic at all, so don't worry about that. He just gave me
Yeah.
more
I think
talking
he
and
was especially happy because not only did he have his aunt and his cousins there, one he hadn't seen in over 30 or 40 years. Um, he also had his new sister and her daughter's daughter and everybody there. So I think a cumulative, family energy really made him happy. Um, but yeah, some of the things that he was saying to me when I went out there that one day for a family gathering and I had to leave because I had to do the show that Saturday, which was last Saturday. But some of the things he was saying to me, I'm like, Dave, don't say that sort of stuff, because he was talking about his health and how if they take his leg, he doesn't want to live. And he just got a heart transplant not too long ago, and now his heart's going bad because he continues his behaviors. You have to change your lifestyle in order to, maintain this new heart or whatever. And he's just been maintaining his old lifestyle. But yeah, just some of the things he was saying, it just kind of sounded like he was ready. And I'm like, don't talk like that. Ugh, poor Vern. He's so
He didn't.
heartbroken.
Hard to come back.
I mean, yeah. I honestly, I've had these dreams recently that have been extremely vivid, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, and as we were talking about earlier, and a lot of them have been weird, but it's been like I've been living completely different lives. It just means I'm astraling.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell if I'm astraling around people
You're cutting
actually
out.
physically awake, because sometimes I'll.
Oh, you're
Okay,
back.
so sorry. I won't get on that tangent right now, but it's sometimes like I'll wake up from an astral dream and it's like I'm somewhere else, and then I wake up and I'm in reality, and sometimes it's just not as cool, right? We've all been there, and so that's
Yeah,
kind of
it's like
I
really weird.
side where it's like oh crap, here I am back in this, back here in the saddle, like, living my day to day. And then you sometimes like, and I am one of those people that sometimes I will dream to escape, because you can do whatever you want. And I imagine, and what I've kind of seen or heard or understood is that, like, when you do pass, it's the same way. It's kind of just like you can do things if you want. It just depends on how you are as a person, like the realms, like the dimensions that you can kind of travel,
Yeah.
right? But I feel like though, like I don't know. I really do pray for him. He didn't give me that shiny thing, but he did give me that excess energy. Like maybe he had a lot of spirits around him at that time. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
his parents, they knew that something was going to happen, because that's probably why I talked to him so much for so long. Because that does happen too, but it wasn't like that shiny thing like that I've seen happen like before people die, where it's like you can be a total um D-bag your entire life, but right before you're on your deathbed or whatever, all of a sudden you're like angelic and nice, and you're like, repent or whatever it is. I've seen that happen. He wasn't like that at all. It seemed more like he was had some excess energy, which means he had probably some ancestors around him right at that time, which is why I talked to him for so long. But
Yeah. And I could see that happening with his Aunt Betty and his cousin Colleen being there, and his cousin Jim. Perhaps his
yeah,
mom
he
popped up or whatnot.
didn't have that angelic kind of halo, like I'm about to pass and I'm okay with it thing, though, at all. To me, I don't want to make predictions, because I don't like that, but it's
Yeah,
scary
that
because
Friday, I think
hopefully
it was actually that Friday we were working is when he was saying that stuff to me. And I'm like, Dave, like, you shouldn't be saying that stuff. Your mind is a powerful thing, and you have to be aware of your thoughts because your mind is a powerful thing.
so he said that
Last
on
time,
Friday, and I found him on Saturday. So you're saying he
yep,
was talking about the other side on Friday, and I was around him on
yep,
Saturday? That could
yep.
have been also a personal kind of mini manifestation too, sometimes, right? Sometimes we don't value life, and we'll say things, and when something will bring us back, and we'll realize that we appreciate it too. So I'm really hoping and praying that he pulls through, because he's got a lot to give, and he did. When I spoke with him, still I don't think his mission is done. I don't think so.
Yeah. Well, we're hoping that today was just, everybody has a bad day. So we're hoping maybe he was just having a bad day and tomorrow's going to be better. And we're just trying to stay positive about it and put out that positive
Not to mention,
energy.
we
Yeah.
have excuse my French, we have 6 planets in retrograde right now. And the crazy things that have been happening, I have just been hiding in a hole, because I have so much responsibility right now. But every time I try to get stuff done, it just goes awry. and it takes up my entire day. So I will say that, and that really does affect, things. Like, we really should be in this introspection thing. Like, a lot of things are happening, but that doesn't mean we need to put the forward motion quite yet, because we need to just, like, we know, like, there's a lot coming up, the changing of the seasons, there's all this stuff. We're supposed to analyze and think about it, but not do too much, because every time I try to take action, it's like I'm thrown 2 steps back. I have no idea. The freak thing that happened with Ross, he um he got a blood clot in his leg and his lungs, and it was
Oh my
not swollen,
gosh.
and we had no idea. So he had lower back pain, because we know he had the broken pelvis, and he's been fine
Yeah.
from roping. And so he had this lower back pain, and I just assumed it was from roping. So he went and got a massage, and then Jamie, who you just talked to, she just used like the little like massager thing on him, right? Um what had happened, though, is a freak thing that even I talked to 3 doctors, 2 of them said no, one of them finally said, yeah, that's exactly what happened. um he got a massage, and if you look up blood clots and massages, what happened is they cracked his lower back like hard, because that's what he went in there for, right? Which is completely unrelated. They cracked it, and he said, I've never heard it cracked like that. And the next day his leg swelled up, and I told him, you need to go to the emergency room. And when he got there, it's a miracle he lived, because there was blood clots there and in his lung. But what I looked up is that getting massaged on rare occasions can actually, the cracking of your neck, if it can be a blood clot,
We can release stuff.
it can cause a stroke. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what happened with him, it was his lower back, and it created blood clots in his leg from the massage therapist. But the doctor, the first doctor and the nurse were like, no, that's not what happened. I'm like, okay, well, it's rare, but it's not that rare. It's more rare to go down. It usually goes up and causes a stroke. That's what's more common, right? But it went down and created
Thank God.
blood clots in his leg. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And he felt fine otherwise, but his leg swelled up like 3 times what the other leg was. It's still swollen, and that's why I went earlier. But finally, the last doctor was like, that seems like exactly what happened, because they don't want to be part of a lawsuit against another medical practice.
And they got to stick together in that medical field.
Finally, the last one was like, that's what happened. It's freaky, but that's what happened. The first 2 were like, no, I don't think that's what it is. It's the way they said it too. I'm like,
Yeah,
look,
well, something was
they said,
built
I'm
up
looking at
there.
this
There's a
case
reason he
right
needed to get
now.
cracked.
I'm looking at this case, reading it word for word, what happened to this guy who was 33. Ross is not 33, but I'm saying I'm looking at it word for word, and it's 100% what happened to him. Went in for lower back pain, got cracked. A few hours later, his one leg swelled up, and then he had a little bit of pain, like in his pelvis or his groin, in that area. And then he went, and it realized that it released the blood clots through the blood vessels. And I'm not saying that Ross doesn't have any prior things that could cause that, but that's exactly what happened.
He's a very healthy guy.
No, are you kidding me? I don't think he's way older, but it really doesn't seem to be a factor. And the only time he has health problems is when he works himself basically to death.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, that's what it was. I told the doctor, and the first doctor just shrugged it off. The second was a nurse and was like, no, I don't think so. I mean, he was a nurse, but you could tell that by the way they said it, they were like, I don't want to get involved. It was not the I think you're wrong, because I've had the I think you're wrong by a doctor a million times. It wasn't that. It was I'm not gonna get into that. I don't want to be involved.
Yeah, like, let me pause to think about what I'm about to say here.
To never say anything bad about any medical practitioner, because if I get dragged into something, it's bad for my career, type of thing. And finally, the third one said, that's what it was. That's has to be what it was. The third doctor.
It's medical malpractice karma.
Yeah, but it's not like a matter of malpractice though with this. I mean, even though it is a chiropractor, which is like, it takes the least time of schooling and all that stuff. It wasn't even about that. Like, it could have happened to anyone. This other guy was 33. I don't think it was the kind. He
Well,
was a
how do you
monster.
even
I'm not
tell
saying
though?
he was
Like if
that.
there's a clot, right there next to the bone or
That's
whatever. You can't really
the
tell because you don't go in for
vessel.
a CAT scan or something. Shit
Right. That's
happens.
the 33-year-old guy. He was probably, had some sort of blood clotting thing too. I mean, there's a lot of factors. Everybody's body is so so much going on. So much. Everybody lives their lives completely different throughout the day. Their movements are different. Their diets are different. Who knows? But but it was a freak thing. And so what I'm saying is, after that this week, I've just been like, I will can't do much. It's crazy. I've been doing more work in my on the astral than I have been in regularly.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because I didn't even know this whole retrograde thing was happening again, and now I downloaded this picture because I download pictures like every day, feverishly because I'm like, oh, that's funny, and a lot of people don't get my humor, but this one I just recently downloaded was like, don't blame Mercury, you were crazy before the retrograde. I'm like, true that, true that. This shit was bound to happen. But yeah, I hope he gets
Totally. Like,
better.
I try not to follow it too much because those crazy astrologers and people will just use that and then wonder why things aren't happening, because we are all our own souls. We're all our own organisms. So despite our birth charts, we all have our own journeys. So I try, like my astrologer friends, I have so many disagreements with them,
Oh yeah.
that I can't.
I hate when people
You
are
can't
like,
make.
stay away from these signs, blah, 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 because they could be unloading emotional baggage right
No.
now. Guess what? People unload their emotional baggage every day, and what kind of friend are you to stay away from them? Like, that's stupid. Don't say that kind of stuff.
Well, and certain things can teach people to go against their own gut feelings, especially technology nowadays and everything else and all the things we're putting into our heads. I feel like I do use astrology for some things, but very little. I mean, like I use certain, like yeah, we have 6 planets in retrograde, but I didn't know that until all this weird stuff started happening. I'm like, okay, well, that is kind of funny, but I'm not going to let it stop, like, interfere with my day-to-day life. I'm just noticing things are falling apart, and 6 planets in
Mm.
retrograde. I take everything into consideration, is what I'm saying. You can't use one specific thing to hold you back, otherwise you won't go anywhere. You can use
Yeah.
numerology, astrology, your own things to kind of stop you from moving forward.
Use them
And
as guiding posts
yeah,
or
it's
whatnot.
a
Don't use it as
guideline.
like, oh, this is set in stone. No, it's a
No,
guide.
we have free will, and we are
Mm-hmm.
our own spirits on our own paths. You can't use that as for everyone the same thing. I just noticed, for me personally, I'm like so busy and I have all this stuff going on, and every time I try to do something that's like too much, I would notice a stopper. That may be 6 planets in retrograde, but that also may be like, you have something else to do, and we're gonna screw this whole thing up because you should be focusing on, I don't know. And for me,
Or
things
it
that
could be saying, don't overdo it because you're going to burn
yeah,
yourself out. Take your
oh yeah,
time.
100%. That's why every time Ross gets injured, it's because he's too much in his masculine, and it's always this time of year, and it's always he gets hurt or sick or injured or something.
Well, he's a
And
cowboy, baby.
yeah, and this is the time of year where it just gets really increasing, because normally this is harvest season and we're
Mm-hmm.
going to go back to Colorado or Arizona at some point. We've got all this stuff going on. It's about to turn into the cold season, so he's on cowboy time. And when he works
Yeah.
too hard, he just does a little bit too much unnecessary work that I don't that it's and that's your masculine. If I'm too much in my masculine energy, I'll get sick, I'll get injured, something will happen where I'll be down. I think
I
that's
love
just
what
part of
Fern says. If I slow down, clowns are going to catch me. I'm like, well, that's true.
Can you say
But yeah, I don't
why
want
you
to
think
leave the
what's gonna catch you?
the clowns. He's like, if I slow down, the clowns will catch me. I'm like, well, that's true, but yeah, you should slow down a little bit. I know you're all excited because even him going back to the ICU, so many nurses and doctors are like, "Oh my gosh, I remember you. You're like a legend around here," because he had a 15% chance of survival. They didn't think he was going to make it, but of course they don't tell us that. And I didn't even know what his percentage of survival was until after he came through it. But everybody's like coming up, shaking his hand, like, "You're a legend around here." And I'm like, "Yep, I can see your head getting bigger right now." But yeah, they all recognize him. And then I think to myself, I'm like, I wonder if he wonders how many of them have seen his pee. Um, that's off topic.
Oh,
But
Ross, he
anywho,
always gets these weird compliments, like, and he likes it. I'm like, sometimes I feel like you like being in the hospital because I you get served food, and apparently the hospital here in Durango has really, really good food. Like
it
that's what he
does.
said.
If you ever go to
He said
lunch, go
people
to the
will come.
cafeteria and order something. It's good.
Mhm. They said for cheap too. They said all the surrounding businesses, people on their lunch breaks will come and eat at the hospital cafeteria because the food is that good and it's
It
like not
is.
expensive.
Yeah,
I
it's
didn't eat
reasonably
there.
priced and it's so good and fresh. It's delicious.
That's what Ross said. He was so happy to be there, and I was like, "Well, good. I don't have to cook because I'm not Betty Crocker. So, you have fun with your good food, and I'm just gonna vibe here." Because he had no symptoms. You know, this is after I knew he was gonna be okay, obviously. But I'm like, cool. Just enjoy the amenities. Like,
Okay, so I just
girls
got a
complimenting
request.
him. Have fun.
Yeah, Nick just requested to turn you up, so I did. Hopefully that works. But yeah, I hate to leave the guys in the dark. We're on a roll here, but Robert, if you're still listening, you really missed out when Travis posted his pictures from the powwow that he took. It is the most amazing, beautiful, insane, all kinds of things combined in one pictures I have seen in a
Travis, can
very
we
long
convince
time.
you to hold them up one more time at some point?
They are amazing. Like, my mind is still blown. I could still see them in my head. Especially that portal popping up. I'm like, holy shnikes. There's obviously something happening there. I don't know. I'm amazed. Really blown away.
But was it a
We actually,
peyote portal?
no, it wasn't the peyote portal. It was actually
Okay.
at first a UFO appears in the Northern Lights area, and then
Sure.
the UFO disappears, and you see this vortex or portal or whatever appear in the sky. Like, you can actually see it. It's freaking amazing. No, it wasn't peyote. That's trippier.
Am I unmuted? It seems to be
Yeah.
giving me
I can
trouble.
hear you.
Okay,
can
you
hear
can
you.
hear me then. Yeah, no, it was I feel because like it was a traditional powwow and everybody was at it was like towards the last day, so everybody's like senses were all heightened and the energy is very high and very good. Like everybody was in good moods and good spirits. So I feel like because of that, I was able to see them or they were be able to be seen. You know what I mean on that higher vibrational frequency. So I think that all played a part of that too. Like and also with the aurora borealis and stuff like that. Maybe it kind of
Mm-hmm.
like maybe that helped with the picture too and seeing them and yeah, and then well for sure to see the portal right because then you could see the definite difference in the colors right from the green
It's amazing.
blue circle portal into the sky. You can see the space in like this in the back of it too, right? In the portal. So it's
Yeah.
yeah, I'll have to hold up those photos here after whenever. But yeah, no, it was really
Yeah.
I also have other ones too. Like see that one you could see is a definite ship, right? There's a ship like some sort of craft in the photo, right? But I've have other ones of like plasma style, like they almost like a star themselves, but they're like flying by. You know what I mean? And and then when I run them through the embossing app, they'll come back through either they'll look a little plasma-y, but then there's like there's one I got and it had like a little bit of like right angles to it. It almost looked like a cube, so I like to call them flying cubes of power. But
The
for real,
cube is back.
yeah.
If
Yeah, the Lord.
anything, I feel like that is just 100% proof that the ceremonies are working.
Oh yes, yes, yes. Oh yeah, that's like
To all
yeah.
the muggles.
If you guys hear any explosions happening right now, it's just the Bayfield Heritage Days. That's when they herd a ton of sheep through town and nobody can get anywhere because there's tons of sheep. And they decide at the end of the day to put off some fireworks. So if you hear any explosions, that's what it is.
Okay.
If you hear any explosions on my side, you call you call someone, because I'm trying to get
Call
as quiet as I
911.
can in the quietest room I can be in.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's like for like you said, the ceremonies, they're all connected, right? It's all connected from the land to the
Mm-hmm.
animals, like to the sky, the universe. It's all there, right? So for that being like an acknowledgement to say, hey, look, like you guys are doing great out there. The ceremonies are being noticed. You know what I mean? In that sense, like they came to see the arbor and all that, what was going on out there, and that's cool. Like I personally like our people always held them as like bringers of knowledge, or like they'll be giving visions or giving people visions or bringing them along or instilling ethics or codes of like agriculture, or you name it, right? And but they were always like helpers to evolve, or you know what I mean, like to I should say, like they were always looked at like as like star brothers or star ancestors, you know what I mean, like in that sense. So
Yeah, our star family.
yeah.
Or even like some tribes and people believe like they're like the originators. And my friend, this is completely just an outside deal, but a friend of mine, I went to Burning Man, and I have to say, like, ceremonies in general are powerful. And I think a lot of what happens right now in the United States with people trying to uh, I don't know how the proper is, like, to unite us and divide us is to avoid things like ceremonies. When I went to Burning Man, it wasn't about, getting high and seeing cool things. I mean, that's always a part of it, but I saw this most intense experience, the most intense emotions. They have this one thing, they burn the temple down, and people are like crying, releasing stuff, and it's just like, it's powerful because the amount of people that are involved and like the energies, and if you're at all empathic, like for me it was overwhelming, and I just got there at the very end, and I couldn't sit there for 5 minutes because I was like, this is too much.
You're like, you're gonna
But
mess up my makeup.
what?
No, just like the whole, you can't contain it. I don't know. There's been so many times, like I said, around the powwow, seeing people in their dress and things
Yeah.
like that, like just feeling this overwhelming emotional thing within me. And I'm trying to tell the kids about it, but I'm trying not to cry. So like I'm breaking up a lot. I'm like, give me a moment. I'm feeling verklempt. Um, trying to explain it, but I'm trying not to cry because when I cry and talk, like my voice gets really loud, and I don't want them to think I'm yelling at them and traumatize them. But yeah, it's hard, especially like I said, when you feel the spirit or whatever, it like overwhelms you.
I read that people that go to concerts and listen to specific type of music, their heartbeats in groups will become in sync depending on the music. And I think I'm adding the vibe. It didn't say that, but there have been studies that have shown that people's heartbeats will become in sync. And you imagine something like a powwow, a ceremony of some kind, or even like for me, like music deal. Me being a musician, like it's like their heartbeats groups being in sync like that is powerful,
Yeah.
very powerful.
Oh yes. Yeah, it's all to the heartbeat, right? The drum. So that's well, the power drum,
That's
right?
the heartbeat.
Yep.
Yeah.
Drum
And
is the
it's
heart.
amazing too because while you guys are doing security down there at the powwow, we're at least like 3 to 5 miles away at the Ute Museum, and we're doing security there. We're like closer to the Ute Mountain or the Sky Ute Casino than we are the museum. That's where the tent was set up. And all of a sudden, we were hearing drums so loud, and I'm like, no way in hell are those drums carrying this far. And then Vern's like, oh yeah, they can do that. And I'm like, no, because we would have been hearing it this whole time. Like they've been doing the powwow this whole time, and we're all of a sudden hearing it. But maybe like, I don't know, spiritually, it's awakening things, and they're having different powwows all throughout the valley. I don't know. To me, it was just tremendous.
So this
So,
is
do you
May
know
20th.
Byron? Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say this is May 20th, 3:06 a.m. And this is just one of those the plasma style.
Mm-hmm.
And this is when I ran it through the
Wow.
embossing app. This is like what came out. Hold on, let me just try to get this right.
That's amazing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, if there was nothing there, you know what I mean? It would just
So
be
cool.
flat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially when you use that app, like it'll go away, but you could see like the power and then the line that goes through centrally, which is pretty magnanimous or whatnot for those certain beings or craft or whatever you want to call them.
And that one was
Energy.
the flying
Mm-hmm.
cube. The flying
Yeah, and look at the
cube.
things coming out of the bottom.
Hunt.
I actually have pictures of things
Wow.
coming out of the bottoms of the ones that I caught too. That's amazing.
That's so cool.
And I actually got a
I
full
should have
one,
worked
too.
the powwow. I wish I could have with you. That would have been so, like, it might have been a little intense for me, but I went to Burning Man, so that was kind of its own. And I needed to go there though. Like it was like nobody goes to Burning Man 2 weeks or 3 weeks in advance, not knowing that they're going. People usually
Right?
prepare for like, yeah, it was, but I had to be there this year for some reason, and I mean, all I can say is like I experienced like, because I consider that like its own weird ceremony. People say what they want about capitalists and everything else, but there's no money allowed inside. There's no food or drink. You have to survive out in the desert. It's like, why would you people pay that much to go survive in the desert? And I'm like, I don't know. It's kind of a spirit quest. It's kind of like it was really crazy. Like I needed to be there this year for some reason. It was on my bucket list. I had to do it, and this year it called to me. I was waiting for it to call to me, right? I needed to have the proper people going at the right time and everything aligned for me to go this year. So I went. I only went for a couple days, but
Yeah,
it was
Vern's
crazy.
like, is Mia back yet? Did you message Mia? I'm like, she could be gone for weeks. Do you know how long the
Well,
Burning Man happens?
yeah, but it was we did only went for a few days, but it was crazier. So like we had a flight from Reno to Burning Man. We ended up having to take an Uber and hitchhiking to get there. I mean, there was no cell service. It was That's so pretty, so wild. But like, I think you set an intention, as with any ceremony, you set an intention, right? Whether it's a group intention or a personal intention or both. I think both is very powerful. Where you set like a group intention with the proper group, which is hard to find the proper group nowadays. But I found them. They found me. I found them, and it turns out they all live close to me, to our place in Arizona, and they're all these like really cool spiritual like people that have most of their stuff together. And I kind of like met a little bit, like a small amount of soul family. Like they would come and do this show. Like if I could, like I'm working on building a friendship. It was like more than Burning Man friendship with them. I think that they would really enjoy and love to participate in the show if I could get them on. But not that many people.
That was amazing because, like the
I was
pictures
very
I saw, and I believe it was like some sort of drone shot or something because it was from above, and just the way they have it sectioned off, it's perfectly proportioned. Each section going row by row by row up and row by row by row sideways, and they were only halfway built up. You know, by the time it's done, it's
Yes.
going to be like a full circle around the Burning Man, but
Oh, and it's huge, and we didn't have bikes. We walked 3 miles, and that was just part of our experience. Like like we walked 3 miles to the what they call the deep playa to the Robo Heart stage, but it was during the burning of the temple, so there was no music going on at that point. We went there at the exact wrong point, but I think that was for a reason. And the burning of the temple was intense. Like there was no music, people were just crying. And then we met Anne Hathaway's body double, and
Oh,
she
wow.
brought us on a art car that was a hat. And my friend that I was with, we were just talking about like toxic masculinity, and she just came and joined the conversation. I had no idea she was the person driving the art car. She just kind of came and the art car was just there, and we just started talking to her, and then she invited us on the art car. Then we got
That's
like
awesome.
champagne from some random person on there that was unopened, and I got the best playlist of my life from the Anne Hathaway's Body Double. Just the most vibed out, greatest playlist. It's got like the coolest stuff on it, like most random stuff. And like that was like that was probably one of my best, if not my best highlight of the whole experience was that just like I got the music I wanted, I got the vibe that I wanted. That girl came through. My friend went through a breakup, and we just had this girl moment of like girl power. We had our own little weird, and we drove around on that like for a while, and it was just crazy. And I was sober throughout the entire time. It was just like just the magic of the moment, and that was like I think that was my highlight really. And then I had some really tragic experiences getting out because it took us 8. We're in a friend's RV. There was a quarrel between two of the guys. We had to kind of break it up, and it was really intense. And meanwhile, no cell service. I got a little bit of heat stroke. Like it was
I also read
intense.
about that too. It's like
It was very
they've learned from past years' experience, and different people will bring like a truck with a water tank in the back of it because people will be walking, like you said, for miles and miles and miles. Maybe they're drunk, maybe they're on shrooms or acid or whatever, and they don't realize how far they're walking, and they end up having heat stroke. And he's like, he almost went through a whole tank within like 3 days because of all the people roaming about. That's a good thing to have.
we
I
had
think
lots
people
of
should bring more water tanks because water is
no,
important.
we had lots of water. What the issue was is that with the RV is because it's not sand. That's the other thing. Like I grew up in the desert. This is not sand. This is silt from a lake, and it is very alkaline, and it will cleanse you, but also dehydrate you very
Yeah.
very quickly. It was something I've never experienced. This is not beach sand. It's finer than that, and it's like white, barely like off white. It's so fine, like it gets in your pores. Like that's how
Mhm.
fine it is. You just absorb it. So as a one person, you need to drink like 2 gallons a day. I had a guy that came towards the end. He rode up on a bike and he was falling off his bike. And so me and my friend, we helped him off his bike, and we sat him on the chair that was outside of the RV of our friends. And we thought he was totally messed up. He wasn't messed up. He was heat stroking.
Yeah.
Like when he talked, you can tell he was totally coherent and totally fine. Like he had a little water and a little shade. He was like fine within 10 minutes. Fine. It was not
Yeah, it's so
alcohol. It wasn't
scary.
drugs. It was it's a very harsh environment. It's a
Yeah.
little bit masochistic to put yourself in that situation, but that's why the people that are there, it feels so safe because these people are all as crazy, as open-minded, as wild as you are. And so when you're with them, like I never felt like I was threatened. I never felt like it was a different
Well, I
it
just
was
love
a
when you
different
said we had a champagne bottle, it wasn't opened. That's very important to drink out of a bottle that has not been opened yet because you never know whether it's male or female if somebody's going to dose you. Like, that is the scariest thing.
oh Oh, definitely. But this is a different environment. Like the people there are completely it's survival. I mean,
Yeah.
you'd have to be
Yeah, you
like
even posted
very
survival of the fittest.
it is no, and it really like really was. Like this is like there are people that can fly. There is an airport there somewhere. I don't know where it is. And like some of the entertainment, some of the rich people, some of the celebrities, they can fly in and stay there for a few hours and leave and be just fine. But the people that go there and stay there, it is literally it is Mad Max. It is, but it's worse than that because that silt gets in your pores and you absorb it and it cleanses you. I do believe it cleanses you, but it also will dehydrate you. Really, like you have to drink 2 gallons of water a day there.
Yeah, definitely.
Like we were there for 2 days and I got heat stroke and I thought I was drinking a ton of water, but it wasn't 2 gallons a day.
Yeah, it makes me wonder if that guy, and when they did his toxicology, it showed he didn't have any drugs, any alcohol, anything in his body. But remember that guy that ran straight into the Burning Man? And even security
Oh,
tried
like
to stop him.
like 2017 or something.
Yeah,
I
he
read
ran straight into it, and they're like, man, he must have like got dosed or something. They did a toxicology report on him. He had nothing in his system. But
no, there was another
dehydration can
guy.
cause some pretty massive illusions and such. Maybe he thought he was going in to
Or
save somebody or something.
Or if I was gonna go, that would be a heck of a way to go. I just have to mention that.
Yeah. Yeah, he was
I
like one of
think
the happiest, like brightest people ever.
no, there was a guy that passed this year, and the crazy part is the camp. That you won't see this probably in the headlines, but this is what I heard through the Playa Vine that some guy passed there with no drugs in his system at this camp. No drugs whatsoever. I think he did have like maybe a pre-existing heart condition or something, but there was no drugs in his system. He didn't pass there. He passed actually somewhere else where they transported him because they do have a lot of medical team and people there. But what had happened is like immediately after some woman at the same camp gave birth.
Oh wow.
Not,
They did
not
a
no.
tag team, they tapped out.
Well, she was also it was premature. I don't know if she didn't know she was pregnant or what happened, but it was something crazy like that. Like it was like
She probably thought she had more time.
it could have been that, or it could have been she didn't know. Like you hear those stories, but it
Holy
was at the same.
shnikes, it sounds like a war zone outside. I'm sorry.
No, it is. No, oh, okay. And then, like, that was
Can you
a
hear
coincidence.
that?
It really.
That's crazy.
I,
Oh, it finally quit. That started to give me anxiety.
I have to, not just like out of like vanity, because I mean I was dirty. The whole thing was just grody, but I felt like I had to do that personally this year. And you hear these really bad things about like capitalists and the entertainment and the people that go there and stuff, but the real people that have been doing it since the 80s, it's a quest. People live like that's how they live, and I can understand that. It already sucked me in. I'm like, I could just be like a Burning Man person for the rest of my life. And you can get there for free. There are ways that people can like low income people can go there. You can work your way, like yes, it costs a lot to be there and they sell out in minutes and all that stuff, but that's because they want to keep the community the way that it is. I think there is like dedication to the community that comes through. You can go there for free whenever you want if you are in the community, right?
I hate to
Like
cut you off, sister, but we do have to go to our first music break. So, on this first music break, we have King Cinnamon from Biafra, Nigeria, with Fantastic and Ale Imo Adarella. And then we have Hosni Bronx, who is originally from Jamaica, but he's also from the Bronx of New York. He flies back and forth, kind of like Mia does, Colorado and Arizona. And he's going to be singing Dance as a Lion. You guys don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this music break.
We swap on speed. She like my water bam bam. King Cinnamon. Oh shit, baddest. Take your bam bam anywhere you day. Know your bam bam, it is a Friday. Come on, let's go, it is a holiday. Anything you want, baby, I will pay. Take your bam bam anywhere you day. Know your bam bam, it is a Friday. Come on, let's go, it is a holiday. Anything you want, baby, I will pay. Fantastic. better, baby, gather something. Come on closer, baby, gather 19. I know you better, but I am the king. Your backside bigger than Bombay. Baby girl, broncotum. I like the way you want your broncotum. Baby girl, broncotum. I like the way you want your broncotum. Jamaica, Ghana. Shout out to the ladies in Asia, Nigeria, South Africa. Say me love you. Please me, baby. Yeah. Turn up from you. Yeah. Make your bam bam anywhere you day. Make your bam bam if it's a Friday. Come on, let's go, it is a holiday. Anything you want, baby, I will pay. Make your bam bam anywhere you day. Make your bam bam if it's a Friday. Come on, let's go, it is a holiday. Anything you want, baby, I will pay. Fantastic. Baby girl, you romantic. Fantastic. Baby girl, you romantic. Give me love, give me love. Show me love, show me love. Oh, give me love, give me love. Me want you, me love you. Give me love, give me love. Oh, give me love, give me love. Hey, please me, baby. Oh. Yeah, turn up from you. Yeah, make your bam bam anywhere you day. Play your bam bam if it's a Friday. Come on, let's go, it is a holiday. Anything you want, baby, I will pay. Shake your bam bam anywhere you day. Play your bam bam if it's a Friday. Come on, let's go, it is a holiday. Anything you want, baby, I will pay. Fantastic. Baby girl, you romantic. Fantastic. Baby girl, you romantic. King Cinnamon. You know what I'm saying?
We spot on the mix. Live it all.
We swap on speed. Ka anyị kelee Chineke makwa n'ala Imo bụ ndị njem ọnụ. Ka anyị kelee onye nwe ụwa ịmakwa n'ala Imo bụ ndị njem ọnụ. Imo, Alime Kerelo, Alimo, Alime Kerelo, Alimo State, Alime Kerelo, Alimo, Alime Kerelo, Alimo State, Alime Kerelo, Alimo, Alime Kerelo. Democracy Kerelo, Ndime Merielo, Alimo, Alime Kerelo, Alimo, Alime Kerelo, Alimo State, Alime Kerelo, Alimo, Alime Kerelo. Democracy Merielo, Ndime Merielo, Emeka Marama, Ebere Marama, Ovana Marama, First Lady Marama, Her Excellency Emeka Hidio Hama, Emeka Hidio Hama, Omenka Unanya Hidio Hama, Omenka Unanya One, Emeka, Meki Modima, Emeka, Modimao, Emeka put on no boy. Oh yeah. Umu wa wulenu. Emeka put on no boy. Woko madima. Umu we me wempoto. Emeka Meki modimao. Emeka Meki modimao. Ndem jejembao. Mwan jejembao. Ndem jemano. Deputy Governor Imo State Chilike. Gerard Ronna Karaka, Wokomadima, Porabo, Deputy Governor, Deregima, Alukuta Deregima, Alimo State Deregima, Ala Nigeria Maragima, Onya Jemonu, Stanley Wamuche Karaka, Stanley Onya Babamba, President Good Life Foundation, Shirike, President General, Senate Group of Companies, President General. Financial Mata Karaka, Alo were Diregima, Alambise Diregima, Alimo State Diregima, Ala Nigeria Maragima, Onya Jemano, Franklin Neji Shirike, Pepe Arabido Hotels, ABC Transport Karaka, Alo were Diregima, Alambise Diregima, Alimo State Diregima, Ala Nigeria Maragima, Uchonya go chande, Honorable Wokomadima, Onye Horo Nyakeleni Yao, Mawugiye, Ginando Tugio, Mawunule, Njijigari Chinala, Imo State Yo, Mawugiye, Ginando Tugio, Mawunule, Minigari Zonala, Imo State Yo, Alo were Deregima, Alo were Deregima, Alimo State Deregima, Ala Nigeria Maragima, the German, Orange Drugs Limited, Jisa Anthony Ifani Chubundu Bisesena Ishirike, Ikenga Dijele, pride of his people, most outstanding one, Okoma Marama, Iborabo, Alo were Deregima, Alijato Deregima, Alimo State Deregima, Ala Nigeria Maragima, Honorable Jogwagu Shirike, Honorable Bina Shirike, Jera Labosa Shirike, Tochukwa Kereke Shirike, Okahube Shirike, Injina Beninaji Shirike, Onyamana Construction, Wokomadima Ikaraka, Onya Shiwore Heborani, Ejemu Imaramao, Wokomande Jembo, Wokomadima Ikaraka, Wiz Popule, Ibo Felamo, Onyamana Pito, Akana Kompa, Ikaraka, Eziwa Mama, Mr. Ludwiriwa, Wokomeje Jemba, CEO Elizabeth Ventures, Ikaraka, Democracy Merielo, Ndime Merielo. Democracy Merielo, Ndime Merielo, Alimo, Thank God I'm from Imo State, Emeka has come to rejuvenate. Imo State, make you jubilate, make you celebrate. Emeka shipwen be say, this one no be say them say. Emeka has come to rejuvenate. Imo State, celebrate, make you jubilate. Ala mekele His Excellency Achikudenwa. Mekele kwa His Excellency Dr. Hakim. Yemaka Right Honorable BDK. Mekele kwa Right Honorable Jones Oyereri. Ala mekele Senator Onyebuchi Mr. Empowerment. Mekele kwa Right Honorable Emeka Chinedu. Umo mimo lowali bia meziena alimo. Alima de lama.
Cliffito.
Welcome back, and thank you so much for joining us tonight on We Are Paradox Media's Late Night in the Rockies. Tonight, we have the pleasure of bringing you We Are Paradox Media, Paradox Paranormal Forum. So on this forum, we have Mr. Robert White from Australia, Miss Mia Savage from beautiful Colorado, and Mr. Travis Mustis from Canada, aka Canada. I'm sorry, I just have to say Canada because I can. I'm actually originating from there, so I can name my different places the way I want. No, I'm just kidding. No, but we were just talking about family, how we're all joined together, and my daughter doing some mutton busting. Yes, and that was her very first time, and I thought she won first place, but that little kid has like the vest and the helmet the way every good parent should dress their kid to ride a sheep. But every time he gets done, he gets down on his knees and he starts slinging the arrows through his crossbow. And Vern was teasing her. He's like, Lily, that's like your future boyfriend, because she does a little dance like that too, a little victory dance. So that was pretty cute. But yeah, I thought she broke her freaking neck. I was so worried.
Video because I dragged her with me to work the rodeo, and she kept telling me afterwards, she's like, oh no, Tess probably thinks she's hurt and all this other stuff because of the video she sent and off, right after she fell.
Mm-hmm.
But I was surprised at how well she did. And you can tell some of these kids, they've been training for it, like they're cowboy kids. That's what they do.
This was her very first time.
So amazing. I can't believe that was her first time. I thought maybe that was her first time this year, or within the past
ever.
She didn't. Wow, that's nuts.
No, the thing that worried me is because she fell off, she stubbed her head, and she looked like she was about to get up, and then the video ended. And that's the way it was with Vern's video too. So I'm like, what happened? What happened? Like, is she okay? Like, I could tell if I saw her walk away how she's doing, but I didn't see that part. I just saw her fall, stump her head. Her head actually landed, I guess, in a little nice pile of horse shit. And so Aunt Colleen was over there cleaning the horse shit out of her hair. But yeah, that was her very first time riding a mutton, aka sheep. I was very impressed. I thought she won, but that other little kid won. And he's a pro.
Well, yeah, they were all like pros. Most of them were all padded, and I know because around the cowboy kids all the time. She was really impressive. And what I loved is though, like afterwards, I wish I would have gotten a video, but I was trying to be professional. But like obviously Vern knew immediately that she was fine. And I was right behind Vern when she did her little run, because that was the section that I was working too. And she came out, and my mom was there just supportive. And she came out, and she was smiling, and she was happy, and you could tell, like, whether it hurt or not, like, she was taking it like a champ. She just was like, that was fun, that was cool, that was a rush. Like, I love it.
She's always been like, I ain't scared of nothing. I'm like, well, you better be careful with that. You gotta be afraid of something. You can't be scared of nothing.
You'll end up like your mom or
Yeah.
your auntie. Because
Your Auntie Mia.
As a kid, I'm not afraid of anything. But
Yep.
in a way, it is cool sometimes when you're not afraid of much. But
it can get you in trouble.
It can get you in trouble, and then you can be afraid of something.
What about you, Robert? Are you afraid of anything? I know there's a lot of like Australian
Not really.
outback spiders and snakes that are pretty venomous, but you're like, I ain't worried. Birds will take care of
Yeah.
it.
About the only thing I have a phobia of is hanging over a bridge over water for some reason.
Oh, yeah. So like one of those regular car
Like
bridges
swaying,
or like the rope
the
ones?
swaying ones. Yeah.
Yeah. I've never been on one of those, and I've been on something close to that and I didn't like it, so I think I'm in the same boat as you. It's not stable. Not stable at all.
I'm
Have you
afraid
ever
of like a narcissistic person trying to take over my life.
Yeah, I don't
Or
think you'll allow that to happen. You'll be okay.
no, I've been there. That's what I'm saying. Like my only fear is like someone just trying to like take over control. I have like this fear of like people being like just crazy and jealous and like completely like taking over your life, right? Like like I have a fear of a manipulative person because I have a good heart. This is
Yeah.
really deep.
And they come in
I have a
different
fear of
forms.
yeah. Well, exactly. You don't. They have different. There's like a set few things that they do, but they don't do them all exactly in the right order, so you don't know. So whether it's a man or a woman or a friend or like someone just coming in and gradually taking over my life, like that's like my fear.
Yeah, it's creepy because, like I said, sometimes you can see a manipulative person from a mile away. Other times, like, they get all up and personal because they're really funny and they have all these other qualities, and then you find out, wow.
Yeah,
Um,
and it just a friend, a family member, or like it's so weird. And I can't even call them all narcissists because I don't think they're all narcissists.
I
I
think
think
there's different levels of
narcissists
that too.
yeah, it's just it's like there's this term where you think someone's a human and then eventually you find out after you break down a certain layer of their existence that really they were out to get you the whole time. And you're like, wow, is this person even real? Like, it's so weird.
Are you real, man? Well, Robert, I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to get back to that bridge thing. I know, it's tripping me out, so I gotta ignore it. No. But have you ever been on a bridge like that, or are you just like, hell no, you guys go,
Yeah,
I'll wait for
down
you
at
over
SeaWorld
here.
on the Gold Coast.
Down in SeaWorld,
SeaWorld
what?
on the Gold Coast had one of those. Yeah, on the Gold
Damn.
Coast. Mm.
How long was it?
It wasn't very long. It's probably about 50 feet.
So that's the only reason you did it, or is that when you knew you had a fear of those?
No, I didn't know how to fear it at that time.
Not until you passed it,
um,
right? Then you're like, yeah,
yeah,
not again.
uh-huh,
We're gonna
yeah.
find a different exit.
Yeah. I think they also had one at the, there was a castle down there as well that they had some sort of moat that you had to cross over one of those as well to get into. It
Yeah.
was like a museum, like had all the fairy tale type stuff in it, like all the different fairy tales,
Mm-hmm.
um, Robin Hood, Red Riding Hood, all
Oh
that sort of stuff
yeah,
inside this
Cinderella, Snow
castle.
White. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that kind of stuff. Yeah, but haven't been on one since. So mainly because I haven't found one since.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
You're like, I've got good luck.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's another
Actually, no,
picture I
no.
see.
There was one in Mount Morgan, but it was wide and it was more stable. It wasn't the one
Oh
that
yeah,
went
you didn't
like
have to
that.
look over the sides. You like, I
And
could
there's
stay
no
in the
water
middle.
down there either.
So you're better off when there's not water, because I'd rather land in water than
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
Oh man, so you like a dry
Yeah.
bottom? Damn, Robert, you're hardcore. I'd rather have water down there because there's just that little tiny chance I might land in deep enough water to sustain me. Or if I don't, and I'm not going to make it anyways, I might drown and it'll, get the pain over with sooner than later. So I prefer water as to a dry bottom. Maybe you could dig for some gemstones or gold or something in the meantime while you're laying there. I don't know. Damn,
Well, that's what
that's
was found up at Mount Morgan. So yeah, it's gold mining area. That's where they
yeah.
have the dinosaur footprints in the caves on the ceiling.
I don't get that. That is okay as far as pueblos and dinosaur prints and all this other stuff. That cave, upside down footprints, but there it's like it's coming from above, right? So maybe the dirt
Yeah, it
washed
was an
away.
impression from above. Yeah, they
Okay.
pushed it down from above and they've left their footprints on the inside.
Yeah, because I was about to say if it was the other way around, maybe the gravity shifted or something. I don't know, but no, it's coming from above. The dirt washed away, so therefore it makes sense. Otherwise, I was wondering if it was the other way around. Was the world kind of upside down at one point?
Well, apparently it was because all the glyphs and the paintings inside the caves of the pyramids, they all show the star systems reversed.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Unless they were using mirrors to take the images and just
They
didn't.
could be. Yeah, that's a
Hmm.
thought. I think you're
Yeah.
onto something there. Because otherwise, what the hell?
Yeah.
How am I going to wrap my mind around this one? That's insane. Yeah, I think that makes the most sense. Either they had like a reflective or whatever surface, or there was a mirror that they were reading it from. Because maybe it's easier to see it in a reflection than with your eye if you have astigmatism or anything like that. So that makes sense because they were very intelligent, believe it or not, back in the day. We've gone through different rounds of intelligence. That was one of them.
Yeah. Well, if they had batteries, yeah.
They did. They had Baghdad batteries, believe it or not. Way better than the ones you buy today.
I wonder what they use those on.
Toothbrushes? I know my husband called me.
Okay, but
Go ahead.
realistically, who uses? Okay, this is something that I heard this week pertaining to that subject. So, like, who uses the z z z z? Okay, that was a really bad.
Nah, it's gotta
No,
be like full blown.
no, I'm saying like nobody uses that. This is how I know
It's
that
like,
men
wait,
invent
wait,
those.
what?
Men
What?
invent those. Men made those. That's how I know it's man made, not woman
Oh, okay.
made. Okay, because right.
I see where you're going.
Just saying.
I'm picking up what you're putting down. Makes complete and utter sense to me.
Picking up, but silly bastards.
Travis, were you gonna say something?
Oh, I was just saying that about the dual mirror painting there. Da Vinci did a lot of that work with his with mirrors and stuff like that as well. Like,
Isn't that amazing?
so like that's common. That's kind of like a common thing. Like if back then, right? So I could see the Egyptians rocking that, or you know what I mean, and using that to paint their glyphs and stuff and whatnot. But yeah, just on the talk of pyramids, did you ever hear about the one that was found off the coast of Portugal? And it's like 20,000 years old. It's underwater, and it's like
Oh, it is?
and the reason why it's not really publicly known is just because they're having a hard time deciphering whether or not it's made by humans or not.
Okay, obviously it's made either by humans or aliens, so what are you gonna say it's made by manatees or the killer whale or something?
Well, okay, so in Portugal, we have those weird like ley line vortex things. I don't know where it is, but there used to be this like person that used to, I mean, it's so long ago that I don't have names, but like, long ago in my weird like awakening journey, there was this woman who would go to this place in Portugal where they have these like vortex lines or ley lines or something, where she would channel these extraterrestrial beings, and then they have, it doesn't, I mean, it would just make sense with the ayahuasca and the stuff that goes down in Portugal, but supposedly like there was this place in Portugal where the magnetism was so high in the ground, like the electromagnetic waves, and that they weren't allowed to dig in that certain area. I will find the actual information on this, so I can have like references, but I did at one point. It's just, how I am with names and things like that. So,
Yeah, me too.
uh,
I have all the timers. Hey, you!
and
Because I recognize your face, but I don't know your name. I'm sorry.
well, this is like 4 years back rabbit hole that I went through. And this woman, she to this day still goes around and she channels these extraterrestrial beings, but she goes to this place in Portugal,
Hmm.
and there is a real, and they do not allow excavating of this specific kind of like area, and she has videos and pictures of these crazy like light things that happen in this area. I will figure out what it is. Like I don't like to. I know I've mentioned it before, but I have to figure out, remember who she is. This is like back in my memory banks. My ADD can only hold on to things for so long, like the
I gotcha.
memories. But like, yeah.
Yeah.
So but in this particular place, they don't allow the excavation, even though the electromagnetic field is so high there.
That's what I'm thinking though. I have to cut you
They're not
off and I
allowed
hate to do it, but
to.
I think when you take away that soil that has surrounded this place for so long, you're taking away a lot of that energy because it's been radiating for how long? It's going into the soil. So once you take the soil away, you're taking away some of its energy. So I think it's best just to leave it alone, even though it'd be cool to
Oh,
like walk around and whatever in it, but I think it'd be cooler just to walk around that energy on that mound or whatever it may be.
I have to find
I
this
can agree
lady.
with
Like, she's in my YouTube, like, from like 4 years ago that I followed, and I looked at that area. I did my research, not excluding her. Like, because you can never just believe a person at face value. I've
You got
known
to do
these
your
people.
homework.
Yeah.
That's why, like, I'm a conspiracy theorist person, but I need tons of evidence from multiple sources before I decide and say, okay, that's messed up and that is 100%, paranormal or conspiracy or whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
Like I can't just take it from one
I'm the
source.
same way.
That's why,
Like, for you to make a fool of
yeah.
me, ain't gonna let that
That's
happen because I do that enough myself.
that's why we're here, and that's why I love you, and that's why we're here, obviously. But that's why we're all here, like, because like we need to have that little bit of it's not paranoia, but it is like that little bit of
Discrepancy, like, you have
there's
to.
another word I'm thinking. Yeah,
I know there's another word I'm
yeah,
thinking of that I can't
yeah,
think of
exactly.
because of
You can't
my.
Due
completely go.
diligence.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
due diligence. Do your homework.
there's another word. You need to have that. That's another one. There's a lot of words. What is it though? You need to have that little bit of It starts with an S. It's skepticalism.
Skepticism.
Skepticism. Yeah.
That one. Yeah,
Ding, ding,
skepticism.
ding.
You need. You win. High five.
I'm just wondering what I won. High five.
Yes, you need to have that bit of skepticism.
Skepticism.
Skepticism. Okay. Otherwise, and that's why it's good to be kind of an introvert too, because you're like, okay, that's okay. There's too much stuff coming in. I'm clear cognizance. That's my thing. That's why I don't like to say like that I'm psychic or anything else. Yeah, I'm intuitive, but I like the clear cognizance, and it comes in where like I'm getting all of these things at the same time, and that's why when I talk, sometimes it's like overwhelming, or it's like it's not clear, or
I bounce around.
yeah.
Then I get back to the main point. It's more interesting that way, I think.
I'm getting better, and I think I'm learning how to kind of keep it into one. But sometimes it's like, oh
I'm
my
pretty sure I'm
gosh, like
ADD or ADHD. I was just never diagnosed, and now I'm just realizing
I
it. At the age of 43, I'm like, wow,
do.
man.
The fact that you can keep up with me and completely understand and be able to go around this in the weird circle that I do when I call it when I talk, and I talk in circles, right? And I'm trying really
I love
hard.
circles.
Yeah, no, you do. I told you this maybe like years ago. I said I think you're a little bit ADD because, but what ADD is a whole other thing, right? Like I believe it's certain parts of your chakras are open up. Okay. So just like people see, there I go in circles again. Okay. So you have these two really high chakras, which are not including the chakras that they don't talk about, which are above that,
Above the crown.
above the crown and above the third eye. But I'm always like with this clear cognizance, it means that you get these downloads from this higher chakra, and be coming from multiple sources, but at the same time. And so like ADD is like you get these like brilliant things, but you won't remember them. It's not fair, right? Like I've had all these amazing brilliant ideas that I can't remember, and same with names and things like that, but I'll remember things that go to a deeper chakra, like a heart chakra, right? Like people that I know that I've talked to and all that stuff, right? But like I get these messages. That's why I don't like using the word psychic, because I think that that's part of psychic.
Well, there's just so many different, like you said, you're clear, whatever you said, I'm like, I'm clairaudient, clairsentient, clear this, clear that, clear. Like, I have over a handful of clairs that I am. Is there just one freaking word for it? Because that's a real mouthful, really.
I like that there's a
And that's why
breakdown
there's
now.
psychic and medium, because it's just like,
Yeah,
let's use
and
one
that
word
is
instead of a million. But I hate to use that label because, like you said, I don't want to
psychic
use
and
that.
it's like a tarot reader, right?
Yeah, I
Okay,
do that too.
so I can read tarot, right? And I have whatever clairs you're talking about. But the problem is what if I want my cards done? And I thought about this because I get my cards done maybe once a year. And I was thinking about it because I have a lot going on, and I was thinking about getting my cards done, but I'm trying to like filter the readers from different
Right.
like
Well, I just had
different.
a thought, and I and then
I know,
I
but I
got
want
this
to
big
read
old
it.
shit-eating
Not
grin
cards.
because I'm like,
Is a psychic
in the
a
gutter.
meeting? I hate
We
words.
should just do each other, you know?
Tell Jamie
Because I read
that
cards and you read cards.
Well,
And
let me know and I'll
that's
set
why
the
I
video
got
camera up.
that big old smile and my eyes
You know
going like
what?
this because I mean we should do each other as far as card readings, but yeah, people can
No,
take it differently.
exactly. No, 100%, 100%, because you're tuned into my energy. The I've had only a couple of experiences with people who were card readers or tarot or psychics. Good, and the rest of them, and I've told you this before. I will end up all of a sudden tuning into their energy and
Oh
giving them a
yes.
reading, and then I
That's
end
why
up
I press
paying for it.
mute.
No, it happens a lot, and it sucks. But I also don't want to do it for money. Like I don't want
No,
to.
it's a gift.
It's draining.
Accept donations, but don't charge because look at Sylvia Brown. Supposedly she was really good, blah blah blah. Like, I was entertained watching her. I don't know if it's because I believed in what she was saying or just because she was entertaining, and she reminded me of like an old school witch, just the way she looked, everything.
She was.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so I'm like,
That's
yeah, right. And then after a while, she's like giving these shit readings because she lost her gift because she got stingy. Okay, so pigs get fat and hogs get slaughtered or whatever. You know, the bigger the pig is, the sooner you're getting slaughtered. So pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered. Don't get stingy. I don't charge for investigations. I don't charge for anything, not even this radio show, because I'm here to help.
I
And
love
that's what
that.
I want to do. And if you want to give me money, cool beans, because then I'll be less out of debt. But otherwise, I'm doing what I'm going to do. And I've been fighting my way through this whole thing, and I ain't giving up. I'm going to keep on going, keep on trucking.
I have to tell you though, like for the people that have stumbled upon the card readings where I was drawn to give them a reading, which is very few and far in between, just people that are friends of friends or people that I have over or something,
Mm-hmm.
I have been so rewarded. I didn't even think for 1 second to charge them. It was like I was like, I need to give you a reading because like I need, because it's just a way to
And that's
introduce
when
it.
it's best too. Like when you feel it and you feel like you need to do it. And then when people say, hey, can you give me a reading and let me know, blah, blah, blah. And then you're just like, I'm not as confident when it comes to
Okay,
that as I am when I'm drawn to do one.
the one guy I will never forget, he was a friend of a friend. He came over and I just felt drawn to give him a reading. And because he was an open soul, he was an open spirit. He was a, like I would say like kind of a one of us type of people. We go out on the porch, and there was another guy there who was a kid. He was like a teenager, but he was like an old soul too. And then a spirit, like a fairy spirit, came on the porch, and we all saw it. We
Damn.
all, the three of us, freaked out. And I don't see that when I'm alone, even really. And so I'm
Right?
like, wow, us have some energy together, right? And so I gave him this reading, and I told him what to do. And then a year later, I don't know if it was last summer, he came to visit because he's a friend of a friend, right? And he did everything that I told him to do in that reading. He started reading cards, and he brought me a bouquet of fucking roses.
What I'm picking up
And
on is he had some gypsy background. Like,
no, he did, but
yeah.
we were that's what I can't just give my energy freely. I only have so much. And same with everyone else. And so when he came and that's why I said, can I give you a reading? Because there have been people that I've done readings for, and it has drained me for days. Same with, unfortunately, and this is what I have to say, but sometimes it's true, like with some of those investigations, I can get ready that all that I want. I can eat healthily, I can sleep well, I can ask my guides for help, I can wear all the proper stones. But if I'm not ready in
I
some
know.
form,
That's
I
okay.
can get
So,
drained, I can get spiritually attacked. I can deal with demons now. They don't scare me. I'm just saying, like, it'll take about 3
yeah,
days
I'm
to
not scared of
recover.
them.
No, that's what I'm saying. For me, it takes like three. It's like it's almost worse than a hangover. It's like a 3-day recovery period of like I went into this phase and something either attached to me or I got psychically attacked or something
I
happened.
remember.
It's rough. It's really rough. I don't know.
Yeah.
But this is the crazy part.
I'm so glad because, okay, so I
This
contacted you. I'm like,
going to
this
walk
lady,
in. We're gonna
she
walk
needs our
into
help.
dark. It's dark. I know that.
It
But
is.
what the crazy part is,
And
I went there, my soul went there without me meditating on it, without me saying, I want to go and check it out.
mhm.
Consciously, I did nothing. She needs us.
No,
And
it
what I'm
just
saying,
happened. You can't force it.
no, but what I'm
No.
saying, for an investigation, I would say, okay, the night before an investigation, I'm going to sleep, I'm going to meditate, and I'm going to go there and see what we're working with. I'm going to get a sneak peek, and I'm going to
I
see on
cannot
different levels.
sleep the night before. I can't. No matter how hard I try,
No,
but she contacted me and we
this is
talked.
what I'm saying.
It
It
is.
was
And
different.
and she's like, this is happening, this is happening. I'm reaching out to
I
my
haven't.
family.
My soul went there. That means
Yeah.
something. Like I go there without my control. Okay, my
Yeah.
higher self, my soul, my astral body, whatever you want to call it, it went there. It's dark. All I saw freaking box. We need to
That's why I'm
get.
not going by myself. Like, forget about it.
No,
I
I'm
am not
going
going to
there.
go by
No,
myself.
I don't care. If my soul went there on its own, right? But like I said with you a million times, I'm gonna try to astral there and see what we're dealing with. Okay, I didn't do
You didn't
that
even
consciously.
try.
No, my soul just went there and it saw something and it said, you need to go there. So we need to go there and I'm going to go there. That's what I'm saying. That's nuts.
Was it night
that
before last?
rarely.
Because that's the last time I
It was
talked to
dark.
her.
It wasn't friendly. I didn't see anything in particular. I won't say you can't just go straight to demon. I don't think it was a demon. I think it was just very negative and dark.
Yeah.
And I saw the freaking
It's
box.
a
And I
very
saw
powerful negative entity.
I like to call
And
them dimensionals.
dimensionals? Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense. Have you guys
No,
watched
yeah.
Stranger Things, the
It
newest
was
season? Like, it's kind of like that guy, but a
perfect.
little different.
That.
I didn't watch it, but
Not
You
a
should
quote.
watch it.
It was not a demon. I've dealt with demons. That was not a demon.
So dark.
It's very dark, but it's not a demon.
And
Okay,
she's the
demons are
sweetest old native lady,
one of
and she's like, I have to let you know I wear hearing aids. And I'm like, that's cool. Like, doesn't matter. We're going to go in there. We're going to see what's happening. She's had the cops over. The cops are about to throw her in a loony bin. Her family's telling her that she's crazy. Like, could you imagine being in a state like that?
old ass, what looked like a toolbox on the astral. Okay, I'll know it
I
when
think
I
it's
see it.
right in the back
I'll tell you
corner
guys
in
about my
the attic.
investigation after.
It is a box. It is a box. It has a sweatshirt, not a sweater. It has a sweatshirt on it. It is a box. There's something in there. I'm gonna tell her to throw the whole box away. Whatever the box
You know
is.
what? It could be the box cutter or something like that with his blood on it.
Box. It's 100% a box. I saw it very, very clearly. I didn't even see what was inside the box, but I felt it. It is a very negative, terrible energy. I wouldn't say it's demonic. It's not going to eat your soul or give you
No.
but it was really bad.
And I even told her, I was like, don't be afraid because that's what these sort of entities feed on. And if you fear it, you're feeding it and it's going to come around more often. And she's like, okay. Like she listened, but the more you think about it, the more scared you get, when you haven't been through this. I'm thinking back to that time in my life.
I've been through this and I've done all of it. Like I have been through a million. When it's in your space for that long, it's a parasite and it's already attached to you.
Yeah, when I first met you, you had a parasite on you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we found it.
I still get them every now. What it is if you're happy,
The
if
little
you're sad,
babies.
it's already attached to you. It's already gotten through.
Yeah, that's why it's little babies come back and they're like, hey, this used to be my motherland.
We already have this little gel thing that is around our auras. And yes, certain things can deplete it.
It puts a chink in your aura armor. So you have your aura and then there's little chinks in there.
Already underneath our aura armor, you got to figure out a drastic way to get rid of it. That's what I learned. Because when it got my aura, I was a child. I had no idea. Okay. And once it was in there, it was like leeching off of me for years, draining my energy. It was the sleep paralysis demon. It was basically what it was an incubus.
Hit those.
Succubus is what happened.
I've only had that twice. I didn't like either one of them.
It took me years to get rid of it. I got rid of it. And that's how my spiritual journey began, really, truthfully. It's not, part of it. There was more, but that was like the main.
That awakened you. You're like,
I did an incubus. And that incubus, I was a teenager. I did not know at the time. That is what actually really, and I had other things like there's my house. There was the tribe that was by us was very not the nicest of tribes, and whenever they would do a ceremony, because of the history of the land, it would go to us and to specifically my bedroom, which had a vortex in it. Why? Because of where the direction it was pointed. And that was different. That was completely different. Like from the incubus thing. The incubus thing was nuts, and it wasn't just me. It was people around me. Like that's how I knew it was real, and it took me a long time because I already believed in the paranormal. I knew about things. I had talked to ghosts. I had seen fairies. Like I grew up like that. But this different. This was a completely different thing. This
I'm
was
wondering, before you had that, did you ever like have this like massive vision of like little gremlin people or the devil or anything like that before this thing came
no,
to you, or this thing
no.
came without
It
that?
was he. I don't really want to say this, but he was Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker.
Yeah.
It was his illegitimate son from high school that I
Oh
dated.
shit! Holy shit!
He looked just. I don't want to tear up, but
Look just like him.
no, it was him
Yeah.
from El Paso. Did you hear
Wow.
iguana? That was my iguana. She just took off saying that.
She's like, you're talking about some wicked shit, and
I've
I
never.
am out of here.
I've never.
I heard her tail flick and everything. She's like,
I've never heard her do that before. I
wow.
swear. That's why I
Oh
don't
my
like to
goodness.
mention. There's a lot of bodies and ancestral. So Richard
And just that
Ramirez.
look on his face, like at first you
No,
look at it and you're like,
of, but it's deeper than that. He was of Aztec lineage, right?
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I could
And
see that, yeah.
so my ex, he was of Aztec, a lot like Richard, and his mom used to do the little like cross thing around her heart, and he never said it, but I
Yeah,
already
like the
figured out.
Catholic.
Yeah, I figured out not only that, like through spiritually, I figured it out through looking up his name, his birth date, everything, his high school that his mom went to, and everything like that. He's the spawn of the Night Stalker. Was my ex, and my ex he told me about
He is
he
reincarnate. He's a spawn and reincarnate, you think?
he
Because
was
you said he is Richard. So
no
he is not
he
only
was
the spawn but reincarnate?
he was not a spawn. He was not reincarnated. He used to refer to himself as a hybrid reptilian because his mom was on the nice side of we'll say like South America and the tribes and the lineage,
Guess
right?
what?
His
I'm
mom.
part black too. So I'm North Africa and West African.
So they're like all under like the feather serpent lineage kind of deal. You're getting
Well,
around to,
okay.
right?
That's where the serpent
Yeah,
things, serpentine
he
walls and
has
stuff come from.
that
Shit.
little
He-
bit
he-
of docile Mayan culture to him. But he told me himself. That's how I figured out about the reptilians. Was
And
through
that's
him.
funny too.
He's a hybrid. I watched him transform in front of me. I watched some crazy stuff, and then after I let him go, I went through years of haunting, of taunting, of this parasite that was on me. That he was what they call an incubus, like a sex demon. Like, but
Is
it
that the
wasn't even.
same guy you saw at the picnic bench that turned on
No, that
you,
was
or
different.
no? Okay, that was just
Uh,
probably lineage. What, Travis?
Different.
that number was-
That was what I saw.
Oh,
I think what
you were just
happened.
mentioning that all of our mics are a little bit lower, except for yours is a little bit loud or something like that.
Your guys' is all the way cranked up, and mine
wow.
is turned down to 78. So you guys are at 100, and I'm at 78. So I don't know what
Okay.
else to
Yeah.
do. Like I said,
I'll
the
try to fix
system
my
is
side
gone
then.
really wonky. Yeah, like my thing is cranked up full-fledged on my headphones, and everything is
I can
so
take it
weird.
off.
Yeah, that might help. Because I think Travis is
Sorry, it's a
full.
really intense subject. I
Yeah,
don't
there
really
you
like
go.
talking about the
Way
intensity.
better.
Yeah.
There you
Okay.
go.
I don't
Yeah.
even like now I'm comfortable talking about it, but That was the source of my problems. And it wasn't because, okay, so the Night Stalker was an Aztec. So Aztecs are the lineage wise, like genetically, like they're the taller. They come from we'll say they're Mexican, but that's a
They have
fucking
broader
stupid
noses.
word. They're tall.
Hispanic.
Yeah, but what happened in Mexico is the Spaniards took over, and you have all these tribes down there, right? Okay.
Well, they
So,
disappeared long before the Hispanics showed up. So
well, the Aztecs were very tall and native. They had very
I thought they were
pronounced
really
jawlines.
short.
No, that's the Mayans.
Oh. Yes, that
That's
was
the
the Mayans.
No, that's the
Okay,
Mayans.
thank you.
The Mayans are kind of round.
I'm stuck on the Mayan calendar. Please remind me to talk about that later,
Pretty
but continue.
peaceful. Pretty peaceful. The Aztecs, I don't know where the Spaniards came in. That's beyond my scope. But
Yeah.
I had a past life regression,
16.
and besides the past life regression, this is just what I know. It's the Aztecs. Aztecs were a tall, very mean tribe that believed in this serpent god and were violent to a lot of the other tribes that existed in Mexico prior to the Spanish invasion, before they spoke Spanish. And this may even have something to do with the cartel and bloodlines. Who even knows? But my ex was part of the Aztec and the Mayan bloodline. He used to tell me, this is something that, not that he told me, I figured out the reptilian stuff, but I think that the Aztecs were basically like the violent reptilians. And they came in and they took over multiple tribes, not just the Mayans, other ones as well. And I have no idea about the Spaniards when they came in, because that's where Spanish came from. No idea. I have no idea where that. I just know like what I know, and that's what I know. But anyway, so my ex basically is the spawn or the illegitimate son of the
Devil?
Richard Ramirez.
Yes. Yeah, same thing.
And
The devil, Richard
that
Ramirez.
it
Yeah, same
sounds
thing.
messed up. It sounds really, really messed up.
I'm surprised he got laid because he spent most of his time in the cemetery or in his room. But you never know. It only takes 5
my ex
seconds.
isn't Richard Ramirez. He raped my ex's mother in high school. They went to high school
That
together.
is crazy.
And
I feel bad for him too because his uncle put him, I think, down those lines when he was a kid.
No, he did, but it was also genetic because he was a reptilian.
But I think that made it worse because he could have fought it. As far as like how bad he was, like had his uncle not showed himself like killing people and stuff when he was just a little kid, I think it would have turned out differently.
I mean, possibly, but I don't think so.
I think so.
Because my ex's mother, she sheltered him as much as she could. She was a nurse. She was a good person. I was friends with her. And even her, she would pray for me just because I was with him. It was really, really, really
She
sad.
was like, get away.
Yeah, she
run, Forrest, run.
Cross sign. Yeah. And I will tell you this, without even having known his father, which he did not know his father. Growing up, obviously, because of the circumstance, he did not know his father.
Yeah.
But my ex's mother did the best that she could as a good woman and a good Catholic woman, as actually like a Mayan, kind of like really sweet natured, round faced. Like there's like different. I only say round face because like there's like you can just see the difference, and he had that in him too. But I figured out when I was dating him that he was not allowed to be around his stepsister because he would try to rape her all the time. And I called him out on that when I was a teenager, and I said, you're not allowed to see her because you will try to have sex with her, because I saw visions. And I mean, it's very, very, very deep and very, 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 like, I don't like to say how I got these weird fucking so-called gifts, because they're not fucking gifts. They're just like, I'm like, this
Curses.
happened.
No, I'm just
Well,
kidding. They're not curses, but you're meant
I
to help
saw
certain people.
it, and I told him what I saw as a completely naive young teenager, not knowing anything else. And I told him what I saw, and I said, it's because I told him you're not allowed around her. And then I said, this is why you're not allowed around her. And he started breaking down crying because
Because he
was
knew.
what he said.
And he can't
Well, no,
talk
when
about
he
it to
called
anybody
himself
because
a
people are going to
hybrid,
judge him.
he knew he was a hybrid. He was a
Yeah.
self-aware. He was
He knew there was
self-aware,
something
and he
wrong.
was a hybrid. Yeah, and he was a self-aware hybrid reptilian, and that was the problem. Like, I love the fact that he was
Hashtag
self-aware.
demon. Just kidding.
No, he was. He was like a demon hybrid. It was actually the most.
Yeah,
If you think about it,
exactly.
it's kind of
Demon
hot. It's
hybrid.
a
You
love
know, there's
story.
angel hybrids. This is a demon
It's
hybrid.
hot.
But
It's kind of hot. I think his mom
it
was an
is.
angel. That's the thing. Like, I
Yeah.
was like,
Isn't it
if I
gorgeous?
look at it now, I think it's like, I'm like, that's actually really, really like hot and passionate. It was so passionate and like amazing.
It
but
is.
really
I think the
like
term is
screwed
exotic.
with my entire life. Like
I don't want to cut you off,
it's really hard
sister,
to
but I
explain.
have
I
to.
should
I have
write a
to.
book about it because I have.
Yes, and we
but I'm
got to
not
talk
gonna
about that
ever do
too because
that.
I need to write a book too. We need to do our
I
own
think,
book
yeah,
writing
I
club
think
so we can
everyone
set
in this
aside
group
3 hours a
needs
day or
needs a
something.
book. Everyone in this group needs a book. Everyone in this group has a
We have
story that will
stories.
blow society's mind.
Yes, indeed. You want to talk about Stranger Things?
We
It's Stranger
are.
Danger Things.
Speaking of Stranger
Hey,
Things,
no, we can't go there. We have to go to music break. I have to cut you off. I'm sorry. On this music break, we have Hosni Bronx from Jamaica and the Bronx in New York. He flies back and forth, and like me, does from Arizona to Colorado. Then we have King Cinnamon from Biafra, Nigeria, and he's going to sing Rosie. You guys don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this music break.
I Oh yeah, it's funky on the beats.
Suck my boobs, you got my body loose. Anytime you talk me, you got me confused. Suck my boobs, you got my body loose. Anytime you talk me, you got me confused. Cinnamon, cinnamon, do it softly. I said you wine your body, eat the sweetie, sweetie. Make it rock my body, I am feeling horny. Make it touch my body, I am feeling sweetie. Suck my boobs, you got my body loose. Anytime you talk me, you got me confused. Suck my boobs, you got my body loose. Anytime you talk me, you got me confused. All my men, they wear out. All my guys, they wear out. Imarama, Imarama, Rosie. Imarama, Imarama, Rosie. All my men, they wear out. All my guys, they wear out. Imarama, Imarama, Rosie. Imarama, Imarama, Rosie. Mukomukeji, go bere muketa. Oya mukomukeji, oya bere muketa. Daddy mu ekon, omo ni pe mukeji. Daddy bere muketa, omo ni fún mi lẹ́yìn. Daddy fisi fisi, omo ni ẹjọ. Daddy sọsi sọsi, omo ni ẹjọ. Daddy kosi kosi, omo ni ẹjọ. Daddy tohin kosi, omo ni ẹjọ. Daddy and his baby, them dey for corner. Daddy begin the touch and the girl dey holla. Now him daddy begin the open the shirt collar. Now him something come out. Daddy begin the suck am. Daddy mu ekon, omo ni pe mukeji. Daddy bere muketa, omo ni fún mi lẹ́yìn. Daddy fisi fisi, omo ni ẹjọ. Daddy sọsi sọsi, omo ni ẹjọ ẹjọ. All my men they gbero, all my guys they gbero. Imarama, Imarama, Rosie. Imarama, Imarama, Rosie. All my men they gbero, all my guys they gbero. Imarama, Imarama, Rosie. Imarama, Imarama, Rosie. Suck my boobs, you got my body loose. Anytime you talk me, you got me confused. Suck my boobs, you got my body loose. Anytime you talk me, you got me confused. Cinnamon, cinnamon, do it softly. I see the wine your body, eat the sweetie, sweetie. Make it rock my body, I am feeling horny. Make it touch my body, I am feeling sweetie. Suck my boobs, you got my body loose. Anytime you talk me, you got me confused. Suck my boobs, you got my body loose. Anytime you talk me, you got me confused. Kissy, kissy, amani, ejo. Daddy saucy, saucy, amani, ejo. Daddy kosi, kosi, amani, ejo. Daddy kahin kosi, amani, ejo. Daddy contact, amani, ejo. Daddy comfort, daddy consist, amani, ejo. Daddy can eat, daddy 120, amani, ejo. Daddy 18, daddy 240, amani, ejo. Daddy 360. Daddy and the baby, them there for corner. Daddy begin the touch and the girl they holla. Daddy begin the open the shirt collar. I come to come, daddy begin the sucker. Daddy mu eko, omo ni pe mukeji. Daddy bere muketa, omo ni fún mi lẹ́yìn. Daddy fisi fisi, omo ni ẹjọ. Daddy sọsi sọsi, omo ni ẹjọ ẹjọ. All my men they gbero, all my guys they gbero. Imarama, 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 Imarama.
Oh yeah, it's funky on the beats.
Don't be Babylon make you suffer. What the desire? Young life. We are ready to fight. Hard life for my people. I don't know why my people live this life. I don't know why my people live this life. I don't know how to fight, 'cause my people suffer. What do you want, Babylon? I don't understand why this world is so strange, strange with my people. I don't know to fight, but if we are together, it will work. It will work. Babylon no have no heart. 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 My people, you have to survive. Yeah, you must rebuild you and make your own way. You must not give up. The beginning of the revolt will start. We need to follow our true destiny. Yeah, 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 yeah. I don't know why my people live this life. I don't know why my people live this life. The obstacle we face, yeah, is Babylon. The world is a good place, yeah, for our freedom. You take everything, you don't bring anything, yeah, yeah. Young life, all anti-dread. We must believe in a magical, powerful force that unite us, and not just these people stay speechless again. We don't want to talk, no, it's time to fight, yeah. We start talking. Babylon make you suffer. 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 What the desire? Young life. We are ready to fight.
Welcome back, and thank you so much for joining us this evening on We Are Paradox Media's Late Night in the Rockies. This evening we have Mr. Travis Willier Mustis. We have Mr. Robert White and Miss Mia Savage. Welcome back, everyone, and thank you so much for joining me this evening. Or us. I mean, all of us listening right now.
All those hundreds of listeners out there in the cosmos.
In the Omniverse. And beyond.
That's
Whilst-
a lot. I love you guys. I'm so glad to be back. That was a really hard. I'm really actually very terrified that was aired because I don't like to talk about that
You know what I
stuff.
think, Mia? I think you mentioning it in this group of people was the best place to do it if ever you were to, because I don't know.
You
I
know
think we can
what,
kick some
Tessa?
major fucking parasite or whatever ass.
And that's what I'm saying. You know what, Tess? If I didn't feel like now was the time, I never have told the true story of like kind of like what happened.
Right, and
And
that's why I'm saying don't let that fear even enter your mind. Just cast it astray and move on. Like, don't even think about it. Don't let that be even a little dot in your mind. You know what I mean?
no. What's cool is it's like now I feel like I have gained the knowledge, experience, and power, and the people with the knowledge, experience, and power, and even if it is on air, like it's something that I don't like to say. It's like one of the okay, you know, everyone has those traumas where they never want to speak them out loud. That's mine, and it was really cool that I said something about it.
Mm-hmm.
But it again with my claircognizance.
Claircognizance?
They say like clair. I don't freaking know what it
Claircognizance.
is. Like the claircognizance.
Say
Yes,
that fast
you know.
3 times. I'm just kidding. Don't.
Yeah, but I've heard claircognizance, so I
Yeah.
don't know. Whatever it is with the inner knowing that we all have, and this is what I hate. I absolutely hate that people's egos are being like diminished or embellished by like this thought that one person is better than the other because they have these abilities. We all have the abilities, okay? And the abilities come with a price. That's what people don't tell
Well, it
you,
seemed
okay?
like as soon as para
All of
unity
the
came
people
along,
here
it was
have
para ununity. Like everybody was like backstabbing and all kinds of horrible things between people started to happen. Like before para unity, like that wasn't really a big thing, but then as soon as they made it, it's like, oh, we have to prove you wrong. I don't know. It's weird when the demons come out of the closet like that.
abilities come with a price. Okay. It's not like you're paying it as okay. Yeah, you can do that whole like ordeal where like I want to be like this greatest psychic ever, and you like cut your wrist and then you bleed into a cup and then you do like a ritual.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's not good.
don't do
Even
that
Robert is
for
shaking his head as he's
fun.
stirring his food or something.
No,
Like, no,
no,
that's
no,
not
no,
good.
no.
Oh, he's polishing a rock. Love it.
You gain these abilities through these traumatic experiences, but also you are born with them, some of them yourself.
We're
Like
all born
that
with
is
gifts.
the word.
It just depends on how we use them.
Yeah.
I did not want to give that whole story, and like I'm like borderline afraid, and
It wasn't
Don't
on
be
air. You were
afraid.
afraid.
because it sounds like a nutbag. I'm like, oh yeah, my ex-boyfriend's father was a serial killer. No, I know it. He raped her in high school. They went to the same high school in the same year. He told me, and I don't like to talk about it.
Yeah.
But what I will say is that some of that stuff is genetic.
It is. There's a lot of stuff that's genetic. And
Just
sometimes it's
about
like,
the
surprise! Guess
like,
what? You have
and
Alzheimer's
stuff
or
like
dementia or diabetes.
but I'm not afraid because you know what? I think like okay. So as humans, we have a reptile part of our brain. We have the mammalian part of our brain. Then we have this weird ass part of our brain that nobody explains. Do you know? Okay, let's go back. Go back. Let's go
Okay,
back.
before we go there, I want to go to Travis. He's been waiting patiently for the longest time to talk about his paranormal investigation. He's like, shit, I wasn't ready. I was just taking
Okay.
a smoke break.
Yeah, sure. Let's talk about that. So real quickly, yeah, it was a pretty good investigation. what ended up happening was I ended up getting some ghost investigation tools, a medium spirit box, and I ended up getting a K2 reader and meter reader. And
Those are
so
cool. They're the
I was doing
cheapest
my own
equipment too.
Yeah, so I was just doing some, stuff around the area, and then he heard about it, and he was intrigued, and he told me to go check out his place. He ended up hearing.
Seriously.
Thank you. But yeah, he ended up hearing a lot of just noises like bangs in the night and stuff like that, or he'd end up hearing some. He told me some whispers or voices downstairs. And I was like, all right. But he's like, come check it out. I just want to make sure for myself, or I'm just hearing things, right? So it was very.
Yeah, it makes you feel like you're crazy.
Yeah, it was very clarifying for him to find out that it was probably some spirits passing through his area, and you know what I mean, and that he, came to terms with that after, right? And yeah, so for him it was like a relieving situation, right? We actually ended up getting a few intelligible responses there, a few females, a male as well. In the course of we did about a 3-hour investigation in terms of just checking out the area and getting to know the little bits about it, like the underwater. There's a little river that passes through there, so I can create a bit of that energy and things like that, right? And so with that being said, though, he felt a lot better about it, and now he wants to do more investigations elsewhere and stuff and come along now. So that's what's kind of cool about that. So yeah, that was about it. That's all I really wanted to share, is that we ended up figuring it out, right?
Aww. Well, that was such a fast forward version, but no, seriously, like, that's awesome. There was a point I had. I forgot it. Robert, were you about to say something? Because it looked like you were. Nope. I know, it was just so fast and furious. I'm like, you don't have to go that fast. We still have time, but yeah. I was like, holy shit, trying to keep up. No, but I think that shit happens for a reason, and it doesn't happen to everybody. So it's pretty awesome when it does. That was not the point I had, but I will remember what I was going to say. Derailed.
Yeah, he wasn't. There was no he thought maybe there was something sort of, maybe it was some messages for him or something like that. So we're waiting around for that, and there was no nothing quite like that. But it was like I said, we got some voices over and whatnot, and the K2 reader was actually going sporadic at some points, and then we were like, okay, can you make it go red when it was when green? We actually got video of this, and it just blasted full red, and intelligible responses in that sense too for the meter reader. So it was that was kind of a cool part about all that too, and yeah, he was convinced there. He was like, all right, so there it is. That's pretty pretty good. He's like, we got the whole video. It's unedited, but I gotta go through it again, and maybe there's some other voices and stuff we don't quite pick up.
Yeah, unless you have certain editing equipment that you can change the sound or boost certain things, you don't really hear it. There's just a tiniest little blip over here. If you can blow that up and listen to it, then you can hear it. I don't have that technology, so I'm like, what the hell is it saying?
I also was doing an investigation on a haunted set recently. We're doing some work. I can't say for what production or what the film is yet, but I will tell about it in the future. But on that set, a few people had got hurt on the job and actually died, lost their lives into
oh shit.
But anyway, this area is kind of near close to that, right? So
question. One question.
Question. Oh, go ahead.
Could it have been on native grounds?
Oh, okay. I was just gonna get to that.
Of course.
What me and my buddy were saying were that area is known for actually it's kind of near Blackfoot Crossing, and the area is actually a renowned hunting ground area. A renowned hunting area between the Crees and the Blackfoots, right? So out there, we're actually talking, and we're like, all right, hello, is anybody out there? We weren't getting anything English. And then my buddy started using some Blackfoot words and Piikani language.
Oh,
and he started using the
Do you have any Blackfoot words?
He ended up he ended up he ended up what was it? He ended up using the blood language, saying some of their language, and then I used my language in Yo
wow.
and Yowak, and I was like Tanse, and then I actually got back a response from that in my
Tanse.
language, which was Manando, and I was like, hey, and then me and then my buddy started backtracking. He's like, oh, sorry, I don't want to offend anybody, because he was talking Blackfoot, right? So he's like, I don't want to offend anybody, because it was Cree response, right? So he's like, I don't want to offend anybody. I'm sorry. I just wanted to say hi, and it's all good. And he's a fellow actor too, right? So it was kind of cool that we're doing this on that set, right? And seeing getting native responses over the ghost box, like in our language, right? So it was really, yeah, yeah. So that was
I'm curious about the Blackfoot because I'm like, I'm white. I'm white.
Be right back, guys.
Hi, Robert. I'm curious about the Blackfoot because of the other side. So like, okay, I'm white. Yes, I have Cherokee. No, it's not like I don't want like any big, like it's really stupid. Like I don't like to say like, oh my gosh, I'm Native, but like I know my lineage and I know my great uncle was the Will Rogers, who was
Nice.
yeah, and he looks. I actually take great pride in Will Rogers because of his influence in his community, like his native community, as well as his like with his influence in the cowboy in the Caucasian community.
Yeah,
But
I know who
but
Will
I'm saying
Rogers is, even though I'm
no,
not
yeah,
part of that community, but from the westerns
he's
and stuff I used to watch.
yeah, he is my relative on my dad's side that is was Ross, my partner, which is why it's really crazy that we even hooked up. But his great grandfather was best friends with Will Rogers, who is my great uncle, and so that's his grandfather was best friends with my great uncle. So I was a little scared that we were related for like a short time, but
Yeah.
but on my mom's side, so my last name, which is Savage, which is really really bad, and
I love it.
No,
I wish I was a
no,
savage.
no, they love it now, but
I really
when
want
I was
to.
a
I'd rather be
kid,
a
like
savage than a Thomas. I'm just
no,
kidding.
I got teased relentlessly for it, and
Yeah,
so
well, I
on
would
my
have
mom's
picked them up.
on the other side, I'm French Canadian, and my grandfather is very native looking, and we're not English, and the name Savage from the weird like it's a very
You know,
sad.
Fred Savage used to be a big crush of mine. So don't talk shit about the Savages, okay? No, I'm just kidding.
No. Here's what's crazy.
I'm just
Like
teasing.
when I was in elementary school, people actually used to tease me because of Pocahontas, and they would actually really really hurt my feelings. And then I would
Aw.
say that my uncle was Macho Man Randy Savage, right?
Fuck yeah.
Because they would tease me because my last name is
Better
Savage.
break a Slim
That's
Jim.
cool. It didn't used to be cool, but it was. But like I used to say, like Macho Man Randy Savage is my uncle, and he'll beat your ass. Like that's what I said in like third grade. So,
That guy's always been positive.
but I'm saying like the lineage from my name Savage. Okay, because
see, I never made the connection between you and Macho Man Savage.
No, but
now I know.
No, we're not.
Yes, you are. I'm just kidding.
No, I'm saying, but from my French Canadian side, there's this big, dark, black cloud that nobody knows where it came from,
Mm-hmm.
right? So there's no
We got that one
island.
too, but I found my way out.
No, I'm just wondering if there's some. I think there's Blackfoot in there because my grandfather, okay, he had 9 siblings. He doesn't talk about shit, and he's the closest that I'm related to. He had like the blackest of hair, the sleekest of jawlines. And then there's this religious factor that he doesn't like, or anybody likes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not French. Like, there's no real like. And then my grandma told me about this. There's this weird picture. There's this weird picture in Canada of like this weird like a camp, like a I don't know, like some type of a religious like a sector camp where like there's these native guys like with my relatives, and they're like framed, and they're in Canada, and I'm like, that's a different side. Like, I already know about my other side. I'm fully aware of that. Like, that's Will Rogers. That's my great uncle. Look at all of my relatives. Like, he is my fucking like. That's where I get my ADD from. Like, I know all about him. But on the other side, and it's Blackfoot is what was there, and I think that because we don't have any English in us, it's not like English. Because I've looked at the name, I've backtracked the name. I'm not gonna say that there's Blackfoot on that side, but my aunt and other people have said that I think there's some there's some Blackfoot because I look at my grandpa and I'm like, my grandpa is my homeboy, right? Like, and he is like, I just
My grandpa was like my Cherokee side of me, and when I got my DNA test back and it said 0.01% unknown and there's no Cherokee within any of my lineage, I was blown away because I've always been Irish Cherokee.
well, that's why
And
I
so
get
I'm
like
going through like a
I'm
mourning
white. I
process.
don't want
I'm
to
like,
say like I'm white. I have all this. No, but my Cherokee side is
that's always
actually.
been like one of the biggest parts of me. So I'm
No,
really
Will
mourning that.
Rogers is my relative. Will Rogers is in my lineage.
Well, even my
Okay.
husband, he got a DNA test, and his grandma, he's got pictures of his great grandma, and she's in Cherokee dress at her wedding. She is fucking Cherokee, and he didn't get anything of Cherokee. I think it's just a different grab from the pool of genes. Whatever you get, you get. Even though your
No,
great great grandma
no,
was Cherokee, doesn't mean you're that much Cherokee. You're just,
I only know my dad's side very well, okay? And so like Will Rogers is my great uncle. I know that for a solidified fact.
Yes, we
What
heard.
I'm curious about is like my mom's side, because like the name Savage I is they're not English. And if it's French, it's only 3% that it's French.
I'm
And the
thinking
other
either Norwegian or Finnish,
is
something like that.
given name from the fucked up fucking people that came here, the stupid white people that came, and then they started to
I'm just wondering
whatever
which ones were white.
or Catholicism, whatever it was, in Canada. So that
Catholicism.
it came from the Canadian side. So that's not my surname. I just want to know where Savage came from because it's not English.
No, I
It's
think it's
not.
like
There's no
Norwegian or
Irish. No
Finnish or
Irish in other
something. It's
side.
got to be like
Where did it come from?
Scandinavian. I don't
Yes.
know. It sounds very
Well, yeah.
Viking to me.
Well, yes, there's a lot of Scandinavian there, but I looked at the name Savage and the surname from that side. That's like where it came from. The other side I'm positive is Cherokee, and it's because I know like who came and where it was and what it was. But I'm not like sitting here like I hate that. I hate that for natives, but I feel that in my blood so strong when it comes to alcohol, when it comes to people, when it comes to life.
That's just the Irish part, sister. I'm sorry. Because I'm mostly Irish, and my genetics prove it. And I'm like, I'm sorry. You're just a little Irish or Scottish or something. Yes, Irish is the same
It's
sort of
that like
passion.
It's 50 Cherokee and 50 in Scott. But like my cousin got his DNA test, and he was the one that told me about like he sent it to me. I will send it to you. That Will Rogers, who I didn't even know who was a person at that time. I had no idea. And then Ross told me that his grandfather was best friends with him.
Yeah.
And
Well,
like
yeah.
like that's how I know.
Well, all across Turtle Island, there are some parts like we all came together. Like there's a cool story where a lot of like there was tribes medicine societies that would come together from the four corners and they'd meet, and then the sun would open a portal to the inner earth. They would go down and trade with the inner earth societies and the realms down there. And,
Well, yeah, but like
That just
I
blows
know
me away.
my dad's side. I already know. What I'm saying is like my mom's side, which is the Canadian side, which I'm curious about.
My
I don't
dad's
know.
side is Canadian.
I don't know anything about it, and that name
The
is
turtle
not
thing, though,
hardly
we got to get back on within the last 20
whatever.
minutes. Because it's crazy. When I was in junior high school and I was in a history class, there was a part where we had to write different books. One was about the beginning of time, and I wrote where this turtle broke out from the land and all the rest of the earth was left on the back of the turtle. And she was really sad and she needed companions, and that's where man came from. And I don't know, I keep hearing these different stories from native histories and shit that are the same. So it just blows me away.
No,
Every time I hear it,
a
it's like
lot of
Mother
it.
Earth to me was the turtle, and that was the earth on her back when she broke away from whatever she flew off of. I don't know. It's insane. But I have a whole art thing. I guess it was in they keep a different folder about you within school, different things you've done art-wise, history, whatnot. I just want to see it again. There's two different things that I did that just like, I don't know, really blew me away. There's actually a handful of them, but those two were insane. And the turtle story, once I heard like later on in life these different theories, I'm like, holy shit, how did I know? How did I know about that? I never heard about it. It just came to me. And then I read these different things through different religions or tribes or whatnot. I don't know. It really blows me away. Don't everyone talk at once.
Okay, so what I'm trying to do is invite people to right now. Invite people to our after party.
Okay.
So I'm trying to explain it in text. So I'm just
So
kind of
through the
explaining.
main after party group, or
Our after party.
on this group?
Yeah,
I was thinking about that earlier too. I was like, should I do
No,
the original after party or should I
no,
add different
I
people and then take them
invited you
away?
down. So I put it on mute for a moment because I was like, you guys should hear this convo. Like the people I met from Burning Man were really, really cool, and I'm like, I'm just trying to invite them,
Dude,
and they're like, how much does it cost? And I'm like saying no, like you have to.
I've always wanted to go there until I heard Amber Turd like made that one of her missions right before she laid the turd on Johnny Depp's pillow. I think she laid the turd then ran to Burning Man. I don't know. Really weird.
I'm gonna put it on mute for a second so I can concentrate. Hold on.
But Burning Man to me, okay, I've seen different regions of this. The somewhat spiritual, the whole destined and clandestine, only the fittest survive, and then the trash that's left afterwards. Sort of things going on. Different worlds in the same region. I've always wanted to go to something like that, but at the same time, I don't even like going to the grocery store. So, since there is a moment of silence, why don't you vote for me? We have The Face of Horror. The prize for this is a 2-night stay at Buffalo Bill's or Wild Bill's house. A walk-on scene or caricature in an independent film, a photo shoot in Rue Morgue magazine with Jason, and $13,000. If I got $13,000, yes, I said, oh, well, I'll paint my car and I'll go on a road trip with my family. But what I'd really do, because I can get my car basically painted for free, my brother is a car painter and a body worker, I would actually pay $10,000 to my landlord, and the $3,000 left over, I think I'm going to take my tour to Ireland and the UK and Scotland, and it's going to start out in Amsterdam, and my sister is very, very intent on we actually get to Amsterdam 2 days earlier than our cruise because she wants to experience the life of Amsterdam, mostly the Wheaties, because, Wheaties make you healthy, but she wants to go to a lot of coffee shops. I want to go to coffee shops and check out the red light district. I ain't gonna go in anywhere, but I'd just love to have the experience of seeing, different lifestyles. So that to me would be awesome. But yes,
You
I
just want to
can't.
go over there and be a Roxanne, don't you?
What?
You just want to go over there and be a Roxanne.
A Roxanne?
Well,
You don't
you
have to
don't have
turn
to
on the red.
turn the red light.
Your lonely days are over. You don't have to sell your
And
body to the night.
all those damn hamsters.
Yeah, I just want to walk down and go window shopping basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, just check out the sights and sounds and what different people are doing. And like I said before, partake of the coffee shops.
Coffee. Yeah.
Cafe. Wee weeds? What? That'll be nice. But I mostly want to go to Ireland, and I do want to go and knock on Scotland's Edge's door, be like, good morning, Mr. Morris. And, how about a tea and a pea? So that's what I do with the 3,000. The 10,000 I give to my landlord.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because he deserves it.
Yeah.
He's been so good to us, so just want to prize him back. I didn't put that in my description because that doesn't really sound cool. I'm going to pay the landlord and take a trip to Ireland. Maybe that does sound cool. I don't know.
Trying to invite people.
Huh?
I'm trying to invite people here.
Oh, no worries. We're awaiting bated of breath.
I for some reason muted myself, or unless you guys can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay,
Loud and
great.
clear.
Yeah, no, I just.
How do I how do I invite people to
Just
come?
go to the group you're in, and then you'll see a little person. It's kind of like a stick person, but it's more rounded. And then it's got a plus sign next to it. You press on that and you click whoever you want to add. If they're not in Skype or whatever, you have to add their phone number and then put it in your group of favorites. Going back to Travis. Sorry, Travis.
Yeah, if anybody's interested, you can find my cool Facebook group, the Four Directions UFO Society. It's free to join. It's a public group. There we post articles, videos, pictures, all UFO or ufology related. Sometimes there's just some cool ones in there, like some fun articles, and yeah, it's free for for people to share and enjoy. So there's that, and yeah, I really enjoyed this chat and being a part of the Paranormal Forum this time around, and I'm thankful to be.
You mean you didn't last time?
Facts and shits and giggles.
I did enjoy it. I did enjoy it. Yes, I did. Of course I did.
Yeah, you can't help but enjoy it. Sometimes it feels dirty. I'm just kidding.
Sometimes it feels good.
Oh, no, it's
so good it's bad.
Great. It's a pleasure to always be here, and I'm looking forward to the next time whenever you guys will have me back on again. And,
I want to have you back every month, and I think we talked about that last time, and I'm like, I hope Travis doesn't think I'm trying to pressure him into doing this, but I'm pretty sure he said he's going to be back next time, so I just put you in there.
I have a wealth of knowledge, 30 years of living my life, and this has just been,
Jeez,
like I said, the
Pete.
way I walk my path, and so I have a lot of tales and legends and stuff like that. So
Good.
I'm always willing to come back and share a little bit of those and
Awesome.
discuss.
Yeah, and Robert, you haven't seen those pictures we're talking about. My mind is still blown. Like, I'm still kind of verklempt about that because that was insane. Not only do
Yeah,
you
that's some
have
good
like
pictures.
the Northern Lights with the portal and shit in there.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
you showed that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh well, he's just like, yeah, that's cool.
visitors that came to
I
the
astral travel.
to
That ain't shit.
the visitors that came to the powwow this year. Yeah, that's a very beautiful picture. I plan to share that sooner, coming soon here too. So you guys are one of the few people that I've shared that with. Other than that, I've only shared it with my close, like I said, my people kind of deal who knows. So you guys are one of the few. One of the few. So yeah, like I said, those I've been collecting all
Thank
those
you.
UFO photos over the last
No, I feel
2
so
years
blessed
of
to
my
see
road
that.
book
Like,
collection.
that was amazing.
And I feel like that's where it all starts, is like when you start to see them like as a plasma and orb, like not orbs, but spherical, almost like a star in the sky floating by and stuff. And then sooner or later, you start to see it, more different, definite shapes and all sorts of kind of craft styles. And it never ceases to surprise me because just when you think you saw it all, something just comes mind blowing.
They're like, guess what, honey, boo boo child?
Yeah,
We're about to
like,
blow your mind.
yeah. Whoa, yeah, exactly. You're taken back. So, and to me, those moments of the universe are just what I live for. I'm just a
I'm trying to
regular
get Bryce online.
search for extraordinary knowledge. So,
Well, I hope he makes it. Yeah, the thing I was wanting to say about the Mayan calendars before we lose any more time is, did you notice how once the Mayan calendars, the end of it happened in 2012, all kinds of people, including me, that's the first alien sighting I ever had. Like, I always looked. My dad always saw certain things I never did, but in 2012, that's the first one I ever saw. And then somebody brought it to my attention the other day. 2012 was the end of the Mayan calendar, and this was when a lot of sightings or awakenings or other things
How do I
happened.
invite someone to this conversation?
A little stick figure, round head, round body, plus sign next to it, add to call or whatever, and then you, after that, need to add them to your favorites.
it's definitely a time for the visitors to come back and return and see us again. You know what I mean? And I feel like that too. Like that calendar was a date for that, in that sense, for these encounters to start coming back.
Yeah, and after that, it's just been like plus, 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 plus. There's fleets, all kinds of things happening. It really blows my mind.
He has so much to say. Like, you have to talk to him.
If you want to, if you can't figure it out, just send it to me and I'll try to do it on my end because we're about to end here in T-minus 8 minutes and 30 seconds and counting.
Perfect.
All right. Bam. Damn it, Scotty. Beat me up. No. Oh, I think you might have added him. Hello? Tiddlywinks? Who's Tiddlywinks? Tiddlywiddle? What?
TW is muted.
Oh, you're muted. No, it's not you. It's a different T. I think she finally got him on.
There we go.
Hello. Greetings.
Greetings.
My name's
Our
Bryce.
last minute party member.
Bryce, are you here?
Yeah, I'm Tiddly Wiggly.
Yay!
Hey, Tiddly
God,
Wiggly.
I'm so happy. Yes, I brought
She
Bryce.
did it.
I love
Unfortunately, we have 7 minutes and 30 seconds left for the show.
Yeah.
But
We're
it's good to have you here.
So we're going to the after party right now, and Bryce is here in the after party.
Oh, yes. The after astral
Excuse
party.
me.
Yeah, how's everybody
And you
doing?
can tell
Because I
them,
thought
like,
she said
my
astral
language.
party at first. I was
You
like,
can-
what? We're going where?
So it is astral party. It's
I want to
100%
cruise
astral
to the
party.
astral party. I can't wait.
What's everyone talking about?
Okay. So
All
it
kinds of
says
paranormal stuffs.
we're okay. So this is like a live show for paranormal podcast.
We are
where we
Paradox Media's Late Night in the Rockies, if you must know.
okay.
Cool.
Nice.
Just give her like 5 minutes because she's gotta like close out the show.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh shit, now he's
I'm
under
so
pressure.
glad you're here, Bryce. That was so exciting. I'm so
I
happy.
did
I'm
it,
like
Mia.
blushing like a schoolgirl. Oh my gosh, I did it. Like I'm so glad because I was talking about Burning Man. I'm talking about so we're talking about tribes in a lot of places, and there's a lot there. We covered a lot this time. I do this once a month with people all over the world.
It's generally every last Saturday of the month.
After every last Saturday of the month, and we talk about like paranormal, whether it be aliens, whether it be just paranormal things. Shut the fuck up, cat. You're not paranormal. You're
Oh, shnikes.
I
Shit's about to get real.
hate cats. Why do I have one?
Aw, because they killed the Mises to Kisses.
She doesn't kill
They're so
shit.
evil.
All she does is wake me up in the middle of the night.
They're like
so you
a
can
natural disaster
They have their own
tenfold.
agenda.
Yeah. If they were giants, they would have ruined the world a long time ago. Well, Bryce, do you have
yeah, I guess the closing words for me would be all my Native brothers and sisters, stay proud out there. Woo!
woot woot?
Woohoo!
Oh!
So I'm so glad you're here. So we have this really cool group. So we have people from Australia. We have people from the UK. We gather once a month and we do this podcast, and it's talking about the paranormal.
Speaking of Australia, Robert, where can people find you?
Where the fuck is Robert?
Yeah, Robert has to give his information.
Usually on Facebook. You can connect me on there by borg202@hotmail.com, or look for a blue-winged kookaburra. That's a bird down here.
Cuckoo,
Either that or on Skype here. I don't remember the number, so I can't give that to you.
Oh, damn it! I have mine memorized. Mia, where can people find you to harass you for card readings and psychic and whatever readings?
Well, my bad, but you shouldn't. But if you do, go for Antidote for Savages. On like whatever platform.
Instagram.
And also, yeah, like all those things. There's like a little hyphen.
Mostly Instagram.
Antidote for Savages. If you Google
I want my cards read.
it'll bring it right up with
Oh, I can take care of you.
You'll find me. If you want me, you'll find me.
Yes, I know where to find you when I want you.
Yeah.
No, I want you all the time. You're my best friend. I wish I could
know,
show up
that's why we're
sooner,
friends.
but my kids are generally sick. Somebody's always sick around here, and it's like, I want to spread the love, but I don't want to spread the cooties, so I
No,
hermitize.
I love you, but that's why I don't have fucking children, because they're nasty little cootie spreaders.
If they didn't go to the petri dish, they wouldn't bring cooties back. But shit happens. It's really hard. That's what she said.
Just like figuring it out.
I said one today. It was so funny. I said it to Ross's son, and it was like the funniest thing. He was like, it only needs to be so deep to get it. And I'm like,
that's what she said. He's like, what?
100%.
Yeah, a sphincter says what? What? Exactly.
Ross's son is so good at the slut jokes, and it's really funny. I'm sure if Ross was like, you could totally fuck my son just for fun. Like, I know that sounds really fucked up, but they're like brothers.
Why are you trying to choke me?
No, they're like brothers. Like, okay, like I'll bring them on the line. Like, it's not like
Well, on that note, boys and girls. Wow.
Oh, are we done with the show?
Yeah, it's the end of the show right now. I just want to thank you guys, Miss Nia Savage, Mr. Travis Williard, Mustus, Robert White. We got, who's our special guest? Bryce.
Right.
Bryce.
Bryce, and he came in later in the show, but he is definitely our special guest.
Yes, we have to read his cards for sure. Indeed. Yeah, he was talking about that earlier. Yeah, we'll do that pretty soon. But thank you guys so much. I know.
I love Bryce. He's my soul. He's my soul friend.
I was listening to Robert's Jam. But thank you guys so much for being a part of We Are Paradox Media's Late Night in the Rope Days. I want to thank all of our friends on We Are Paradox Media's KPNL Radio, Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, iHeartRadio, and wherever else beyond the Omniverse you may be listening tonight. I had a wonderful time hanging out with all my friends. It's always a good time. It's never a dull time. And I can't wait to do it again. Tomorrow night we have Mr. John Yost on, and he actually has a show out on Amazon Prime, I believe, called Alien Abduction. If you haven't seen it, please look it up. I might pay for the last minute thing just to watch it tonight to be prepared for tomorrow, because otherwise I'm like, tell me all about it. I won't even know what to talk about, except for I know about alien abductions, kinda, sorta. Anyways. So you guys, don't forget, we're all in this together. Together, we can make the world a little better. And together, my friends, we are Paradox Media, because without you, there is no us. Nighty night, love and light, and I'll see you back here, same wacky time, same wacky place.